And let's see if it doesn't crash this time. If it crashes this time, I honestly may just because I cannot deal with it. But where we left off last time was buying several wind chimes. One for me, one for Cove. I was getting politely made fun of, well, we were getting politely made fun of by our cousin Lee. So that's kind of where we're at. Also, sorry that, stuff decided to just think. But it is what it is, and we're gonna try our best to keep going from here. Fingers crossed it stays well. So this is just after Lee made, I scrolled it back just to figure out exactly where it was. Just after Lee made kind of a joking comment of, why do you need two wind chimes? So you rolled your eyes at her teasing tone, but you couldn't hide the smile growing on your own face as he broke out in. The shopkeeper carefully wrapped it, handed it back to you in a bag. You accepted it and then raced off with Lee to catch the boy. For Cove, you had picked out a beautiful wind chime that has dolphin charms, simple silver poles, or crystal strands. I know dolphins are like categorically seen as adorable. I don't like. Sorry if that pisses anybody off. Out of sea creatures, dolphins are pretty low on my. I don't like outright hate them, but I also don't particularly like them. So I think I'm gonna go for one of the other. An odd. Roll it. Well, got an 11, so let's go with crystal strands. Crystal strands could be. You had a feeling he'd appreciate. After leaving another clothing store, one that Lee couldn't resist exploring, you and your friends found yourself walking down the main mall. It wasn't until everyone you were with, should we stop? Yeah. As you approached, your eye was drawn to the dizzying list smoothie combination. Part of you wondered how long it would take to try them. Hi there. Do you need a rundown of how this works? Yes, please. Okay, so first off, you pick up to 3 options of fruit or berry. Then I'll add the ice in the store's special smoothie base mix. And then you'll have your very own smoothie for $4. There's only one. I'm sorry, I've worked enough retail to know the polite this is how excited I have to be about smoothie base. Cove leaned over the counter. For several moments, he intently studied the plentiful fruit and berries. I want to get a strawberry banana smoothie. Sounds good. Is anyone else getting something? Can I get one that's just all mango? Of course. Thanks! I'd like strawberries, blueberries, and raspberries for mine. Thanks! Shopkeeper looked at you. Oh, hell yeah. Oh, hell yeah. Like, I didn't even have to think. Yes, smoothie. I enjoy smoothies. And at $4, unless it's like a really tiny, like if it's a decent sized smoothie, oh, hell yeah. Now, what flavor? I can pick up to 3. We can pick up to 3, so if anyone has any suggestions, the options are banana, coconut, pineapple, mango, kiwi, peach, orange, apple, blueberry, strawberry, and raspberry. I really do enjoy some of these combinations, but I know for a fact some of them would not go together. So, ew, kiwi, ugh. I usually go for the more tropically vibes, like the pineapple and the mango, maybe a raspberry. I figured if banana, pineapple, orange sounds delicious, and also, hi Jade! I hope you're doing well. And honestly, you need to get this. Would love it. So every choice you make changes it, so you can log hundreds of hours with all sorts of different. It's so much. Plus, it's a free-to-play game. Like, the DLC is $25 total, but honestly, I hope you had fun on your errand. Banana, pineapple, orange. That's a fair combination too, because the banana and work really well together, and the orange really well together. everything. Hopefully your errands were generally okay and, you know, went well. So there's that. At that, everyone went ahead and paid for their individual drink. You waited over at the other side of the booth where the drinks were put when they were done. Derek bounced on his feet, excited to be ready.
Aww.
This is gonna be good. Lee chimed in with her own enthusiasm. Everybody says their smoothie-based stuff can make any drink great. So, All Quieter looked just as eager for his. Luckily, there hadn't been anyone else before you, so it wasn't a long wait. Your group collected the fresh drinks as they were placed on the counter. Openings up and first tentative sips. Derek sighed in satisfaction. Mango is too delicious. Mine is super good too. Cove nodded and hummed, and his straw was still. Honestly, that sounds tasty, so I'm definitely thinking this is perfect. Cool, we all made excellent choices today. Yeah. Also, you can try other people's smoothies and you can pick multiples. So, like, you can try Lee's, you can steal a sip of someone's, it has different, you know, or you can just ignore people. But me personally, I don't mind swapping. I figure at least ask Lee because, like, she's your cousin, you know? I know, like, if me and my sisters go out and grab a drink, or me and my friends go out, we'll be like, ooh, can I try yours? Hell yeah. I think I shared a drink I got on my father's former birthday with my mom, and, like, I'm a sharer. You asked if you could try some of Lee's smoothie, at least trying Lee. Hey Lee, can I taste what you got? As long as you let me try yours too. Deal. You and Lee swapped cups and took several sips before swapping. Their berry blend. Berry. I like yours, but I'm really happy I got them. Thanks, Lee.
You're welcome.
I'm always there to help. Alright, do we want to ask someone else? Do we want to feel this? No. Are we good? Like, we've got 3 options. I figure, you know, if anyone would like to contribute, they're more than welcome. I'll give it. No, no, probably. 4. 1. 3. Oh, look at that. You wanted to have someone else. Alright. Go. I'll probably just, you know, feel like being sneaky people is fine. I feel like Cove would prefer. Cove, could I have a drink? At that, Cove accidentally inhaled as he was drinking. Oh, I've done that. Oh, that hurt. Oh, sir. Oh, sir, I think you had like a strawberry banana coconut. Oh, man, that is gonna not be fun. Oh, that's gonna hurt. His face was burning red from embarrassment from coughing that shook him. Dude, are you okay? Derek gave Cove a few pats on the back. His hacking was almost. I bet it ended up going the wrong way. It sucks when that happens. Lee elbowed you, teasing. The moment she got your attention, she started laughing, gesturing between you and Cove. Moments later, Cove was finally able to breathe normally. He wiped his mouth with free hand. His gaze locked on the floor as he nervously started chewing on the straw. You could tell he was torn. He didn't seem to want to say no, but he couldn't bring himself to say yes. Derek couldn't watch this scene. Drinking his own smoothie, he was pretending to be fascinated by the displays and stories your guide. Lee hadn't stopped looking over at you two. You could tell she was living forever. Lee is here. Lee is so here. Lee is so much like me in the idea that I don't want to drink the tea, but damn if I don't watch it unfold in front of me. You know? Like, I will be there in the room like a fly on a wall for tea, but I just don't make me the reason. Cove's unhappy stare went from Lee to Derek. all while still shyly sipping his smoothie. You wondered if he was trying to will the scene. Feeling his stare, Derek peeked towards Cove. The only response offered was an standing sigh. You know what? You know what? We asked. We're not gonna embarrass the boy further. Like, there's a time and a place. That's okay. I need to try you. He stared at you, looking conflicted still. A few heartbeats later, the in his face.
Sorry.
No worries. You're cool. Oh, nodded, but he couldn't meet her eye. Oh. You know what? I have a sip of yours. He held his cup out for you to take, but said it was easier to forward to keep up. At the drink. That's what we do with our fruit. Sharing. Derek winked, cussing at the small one. The mango in a smoothie actually reminded you a lot of that day you had at the summer. As your group continued to wander the mall, you came to an area path that was wider. Remember those? In the center of the opening was a collection of quarter-operated, ride-on feet. Derek stopped as soon as he saw them, smiling. All right. I think we might be too big.
No way!
We're not that old. Curly headed over the machines, wanting to get a better look. He went along with it, smiling. You know what? No, I'm sorry. Those are nostalgic. Like, if I physically could not only fit in one of those, but like, not somehow injure myself either getting in, getting out, riding it, or anything like that. If I could use them, I may occasionally, you know, have the strange fantasy of being the weird adult in the mall who, you know, actually goes on the helicopters because I want to relive my childhood, but I can't because I'm broke. So hell yeah. Look, I just like riding in the fire. And the carousels are. You quickly chased after him. He turned his head back at the sound of your footsteps, a thumbs up over his shoulder. Reconvening around Derek, you watched as he was focused on the various brightly rides. Most were designed to look like real vehicles, but there was also some horse-shaped ones, like that one, right there. One of them could even seat 2 people. It looks like, from the picture, we get at least a helicopter, a car, which appears to be the 2-seat, a horse, and some kind of Vespa scooter. So, I also love how they're basically just, like, in real malls, they're usually all facing one way just because people them all one way, but I love the fact that they took the time to thread them. I also love how we saw this place in a different scene earlier, but these didn't exist. Are there 2 yo-yos in this mall? There must be. Lee leaned in close to you and whispered playfully while pointing directly at the soul machine there. You should ride that one. Alright. You agreed she was really onto something there. You rolled your eyes. You disagreed. That was too crazy. You felt sure, or you didn't reply to. Alright, so we have 5 options. So let's see. One. Fair enough. Alright, you're just mad because you didn't get to embarrass him earlier, so now you agreed she was really on something. That might be fun. I call the helicopter. Hi. Cool. It's the coolest, and I think it'll move the most. He started digging in his pocket, pulling out whatever money he had left. Wait. Everything okay? You need 4 quarters, right? Yeah. You only have 2! There has to be more between all of us. Hold on. Pockets, wallets, and purses were checked over. Derek still had 2, Cove only had 1, and Lee ended up the most in you didn't.
Don't worry about it.
You can have mine. Thanks, but you don't have to. It's not enough for me. And even if it was, it'd be dumb to ride well. Cove shrugged. He had tried, failed, and looked unsure of what to do next. Honestly, I'm gonna answer this one, and nobody can change my mind, because legitimately the easiest answer is just, couldn't we exchange dollar bills from just go inside the yo-yo, or the America whatever it is over here, or this said like book something, just go get more quarters. Also, see, here's the yo-yo. I do not see anything that would even remotely resemble a space for rides. There has to either be 2 yo-yos in the mall, or those rides are just free. They transform from these desks into rides. Magic. There has to be 2 yo-yos. Derek slapped a hand to his cheek, eyes wide.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, that'll work. Let's do it. The group scattered to various shops. When you shortly reconvened at the rides, everyone had more than enough. There was no wiping the smile off your face. Despite the little hiccup initially, the ride was coming together. Let's get this over with. Have the coins.
Okay.
Cheer up, man. It's gonna be good. Yay! Now, there were enough machines that everyone claimed one for themselves. Derek got his coveted helicopter. Lee was happy. They are like orange Julius. They were everywhere in big malls. Yeah, the yo-yos are everywhere. The yo-yos. Both waited to choose last. It seemed like he didn't want to take a ride someone else wanted, that when he cared so little about it. Alright, we have a horse, the one that looks like a motorcycle, a single-seater car, the double-seater car by yourself, or the double-seater car while dragging over. These are our options, 1 through 5. I am enjoying some liquor. 2, 1. Alright. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 10. Nobody said anything. 2. Alright, so we're not gonna ride with Cove? Okay, that's fine. We just want to ride a motorcycle. You just want to ride a motorcycle, Jade. I've never actually picked any. Rock. This will be interesting. The one that looked like a motorcycle. That was definitely the coolest ride right now. Cove took one of the free single-seater cars once he got back. Looks were exchanged across the way, and you each popped in the coins at the same time. And the little rides stuck. As the machines began moving up and down and side to side, Lee and Derek couldn't contain them. Derek started waving from the window of the helicopter, and Lee reached out to see if she could touch anyone if their machine jolted her. Cove, on the other hand, just gripped the side of the car. He was struggling to remain in the seat with being carried. He's also very tall, so alright. We were quickly regretting our decision, waving back, stretching over to grab Lee's hands. That's the what I'd honestly do, like, in real life. If I can, like, reach over a carousel and grab someone else's hand and just hang on to it, because it's just fun. You tried to encourage Cove, you personally just sat quietly on your ride. No, we are not quiet individuals. We are supposed to be extroverts, so definitely not number 5. Sorry, not quiet. I don't think we're gonna regret it. Like, it's just fun. So 2, 3, or 4. Waving back, grabbing Lee's hand, or encouraging hand stretch. Exactly. Demon-esque gets it. You know, sometimes you just gotta, like, reach over and see if you can do it. Grinning, you leaned forward and reached as far as you could. For a moment, a shot of panic went through you as you thought you were about to tumble off the ride, but you hung on with your free hand and balanced like a real motorcycle. Be careful! I'm trying. Your rides were syncing up in movement, almost there. Your efforts were rewarded when you caught hold of her hand. We did it! Yeah! It was a battle to keep together as the rides went backward. 2 of you kept almost being accidentally pulled off your feet by the other. That made it more fun. Soon, all the rides came to a stop and the group dismounted. Eric looked absolutely pleased at the conclusion. Then you noticed something out of the corner of your eye, and you tilted your head as you looked directly at it and you burst into laughter. What's so funny? You turned your back to the group and nodded in the direction of what you were looking. Isn't that one of those machines that takes dollars and gives quarters back? The kind that exist for people who don't have quarters? Everyone's head moved that way and saw that you were right, and Derek chuckled awkwardly. That's exactly what that is.
Oh.
We're kind of dumb. We'd have to be to miss that this whole time. Come on, let's just put this behind us. There's still places open. We haven't been everywhere.
Totally.
Here. You moved along from one stop towards your next, still jovial from the experience. Shortly into your walk, Lee ran over to a nearby trash can and tossed her smoothie. Derek went after her for his pay. You followed suit, got rid of your empty cup too. Both made it over the trash can, but he didn't toss it. Hey, Valaria? Yeah? Tove held his cup towards you and he looked at it quizzically.
I mean...
You can finish it if you want. It's a little melted, but it's still good. He couldn't quite meet your gaze. You were pretty sure that you... Leaving Cove to his embarrassment, you noticed that he had left enough to have a good time. There was no stopping the large smile growing in your face, and he didn't forget. After your answer earlier, you had made peace with the fact that you weren't going to get a drink. You figured it was easier for him to give it away since he didn't have any plans to do more of it. You took his cup and held it with both hands. The last of his smoothie was very sweet. That's pretty good, huh? Very good. Threw the cup out with the rest and sighed, content. How to embarrass a boy yet get him on. Be endearing. The clock inched closer to 7 p.m. as you all made your way back to the directory. Hard to believe how fast the day went.
So,
So, where do you think your mom ended up today? We didn't see her anywhere. I don't know. It's just like... Ooh, it's a mystery. Despite having vanished for the entire trip so far, when 7 p.m. hit, you spotted Kira coming right over, waving cheerfully. As soon as she was close enough, she pinned Cove's cheek.
hey ya.
Hey, baby and friends. Hi, Mom. He pushed her hand back with one hand and rubbed his cheek with the other. The Mom, you're pinching my cheek in front of my friends and the cute girl. Did you have a good day, gang? Yeah. Today was awesome. We did so much.
Not bad.
It was fun. Honestly, hanging at 13-year-old me loved hanging out with the mall, my friends, and yes, maybe getting like a smoothie or a pretzel. That was when what was it called? Gloria Jeans still existed, and they did this like friggin' chocolate frappuccino thing that I'd always split with one of my friends because it was expensive but so good. And we spent way too much time in Hot Topic. There was no hiding your joy. Like the others, you were smiling ear to ear because today went so much better than you. I'm glad we came here.
That I do.
I want to hear all about it during the ride back. She clapped her hands together once, making sure she had everyone's undivided. Speaking of that, we'd better head out. Cliff must have been missing out, and you've got to be starving. It's dinner time and you haven't eaten. Yeah. Everyone followed her lead and started walking up to the door to the parking lot. Something about what Kira said. There was tons of places. Oh, could have had to. You wondered if it was just a good guess, but you couldn't feel your eyebrows raising it dawned on you. She might have been keeping it up. Oh, honestly, pretty slick. Like, my mom probably did the same thing when I was just, stretching my wings. And honestly, that is probably the best way developmentally to do it, psychological perspective, because it's true. It gives the person the feeling of independence without losing sight of the fact that you need to keep an eye on minors. Like, let them spread their wings in a safe, contained environment, like a mall. Keep an eye on them, or have them check in every say half an hour, etc. to kind of keep an eye on where you could cross paths. It's logical, it's sweet, and it worked. You know, if she hadn't made that comment, you never would have known. You found it hard not to be. Not once did you recall even catching a glimpse of her hanging. Though, now that you think about it, not seeing her ever was as suspicious in of itself. Shaking off those thoughts, you caught up with the others. Keeping the same seating arrangement as earlier, you all piled into the car and started heading back to the door. The drive went by without any problem. It was filled with chatter about the various things everyone saw around the mall. Soon enough, you'd arrived at your destination. It was a much faster trip, considering this time, Kira knew where she was going. Hearing the light jingle of the bells from the front door being opened, Cliff cut out from the back. He lit up, seeing who was here. Hey, sport! Did you have an adventure? Everyone have an adventure? Hi, Dad. We had a blast! Yes! We found the mall.
Aww.
The mall? Wish I could have. He deflated in an exaggerated way, his shoulders. Kira put a hand on his arm and smiled.
Any whoosies.
There'll be other time. Are you set here? Almost. Mr. Holden sighed for real, and he pulled himself together, standing up straight.
Do you mind?
I need just a little more time to finish up. Would you be alright killing time for a bit longer? It's okay. Yes, sir. No problem, Mr. Holden.
Sure.
We can have fun here. Excellent. What a great group of kids. He gave an approving thumbs up and Kira nodded along. I'll give you a hand. I remember the road. Why, thank you. They walked side by side to the back room. Before he was out of sight, Cliff stopped and looked over his shoulder. If you leave the shop, don't go far. It's getting late. It's that, like, little bit of independence where you're allowed to, like, go to just past. And then the parents were gone. Let's go to the docks. They're right down the way. Yeah. Oh, I saw those on the way here and really wanted to check it out. Are you coming, Valeria? All right. Yeah, duh. Going to the dock. I'm not gonna... Why would I stay in the store by myself? With a smile, Cove showed the way. Between the warm summer air and the smell of the ocean, you couldn't ask.
Thanks.
Thanks for letting me come. Me too.
Right?
I'm happy we did this. Today was great. Cove, your mom and dad are really cool. Hey? Totally. Cove looked at Lee odd. He ran his hand through his hair and then puzzled expression. Cracked with a chuckle.
I guess.
I guess sometimes they are. So he's gone from super embarrassed to, oh man, all my friends think I've got the cool. That's what I aspire to be, honestly, when I have kids and all, sort of stuff. I want to be the mom of the friend group. You continued walking. Every so often, you would look up at the sky, several stars poking up. At one point, you noticed that Cove stopped while Lee and Derek going on ahead, busily chatting. Sucked. Initially, you wondered if something was wrong, but you quickly noticed he still looked in good spirits. You decided to hang back with Cove. He gave you a quick, acknowledging look when you stopped by. You could taste the sea salt and a deep breath of the ocean. Yeah, if the wind's coming off the ocean, you taste it. It's very... Silently, you and Cove watched the ocean for a little. There was something about the waves that you always found soothing. You couldn't think of a better way to end a busy day. And then it hit you, the wind chime. This was your perfect moment. Quickly, you dug the wrap package out of your... Hey, Cove? He barely replied. Instead, his focus was mostly on lazily watching. The paper wrapping crinkled as you pushed the package, trying to make him... He finally caught sight of it, and his eyebrows raised up. Gingerly, over just seeing the product. He carefully opened it, body frightened to be right.
Oh my god!
You talked about how he had seen Quante, you suggested think of him, you explained that Clover thought yes, and you wanted to give him something in return, or you didn't know what to say. Well, I feel like definitely not. one, but, you know, the chime. That's a little delightfully, you know, potentially embarrassing for the young, you know? Or that you wanted to return the favor for gifts that he, you know, gotten previously because you're friends. That's great. The he seemed to want it seems a little like presumptuous, but like you're his best friend. So I could. All right. Now let it. 1, 2, 4, 5, 6. Hands. That's 5. So go with that. You explained that Cove had given you gifts. Wanted to get him something. How many times have I been the one getting something? You deserve a present. You know, you don't have to keep score or anything. That's not why I know. I didn't have to. I just wanted to. Cove's smile seemed to grow even bigger, and his blush deepened. He looked sincerely happy. You're just... He wasn't even able to find the words to finish his thought. Then Cove started getting shy over his bashfulness and put a hand up over his mouth. You were so happy that buying the wind chime was the right call. I'll take such good care of it. Thank you. You're welcome. Let me know where you end up putting it. It'll be helpful to know. You took your wrapped up wind chime bag and held it up, drawing a chuckle from it. Okay, we'll match that way. Yeah. I need to get. Not much time later, Derek's chipper voice caught your attention. You and Cove both turned your gaze. What are you doing down there, slowpokes? Get over here!
Hey!
Hey, come on! You looked at Cove at the same time you looked at you. You grinned and nodded your head in the direction of your friends. He gave you a small smile. Your footsteps echoed against the wood planks of the dock into the night. And now we're back to the moment scene. So we have a whole bunch to do. 1, 2, and 8, 11. We have 11 left to do. Oh, 11 left to do. So I will give it a moment to do a 1 through 11, and then I'll pick something. Nobody says anything. Please note that the soiree on this page is not available. If you suggest soiree, will be the one next. Mostly because we want the option of being able to eventually. You know, let's be cute with everybody. Seven. Alright. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Escapade! You looked up, noticing the sun was finally setting. You had been trying to delay the end of the day for as long as possible. The evening breeze tickled your nose as you sat on your front porch, munching on fresh watermelons. Hey, Hound, we too have watermelon. Does the snack make you happy? Does watermelon make people happy? I mean, or do you just think it's okay? Is it because it's a summer tradition, or do you not even know why you would? I, for one, enjoy watermelon. I know Hound enjoys it. Weirdly, you put salt on watermelon. It's weird. You picked up another slice. Salt watermelon's the best. Okay. Whatever you say, crazy. Whatever you say. You have superhuman hearing and you could hear a vacuum door sound. You don't get to call yourself anything. You picked up another slice. Even though you already had dinner, you were still delighted to make room. You turned to look at Cove. You both had been sitting in the comfortable silence for a while now. He sat next to you, close enough for your shoulders. He was happily absorbed in his thoughts and his own slice of watermelon. Chuckling, you watched as his face twisted in discomfort. He had to stop chewing to spit a seed. Do we contest this and suggest that we can spit a seed farther than him? Spit into the bushes, or just shake our head in disapproval? Or I mean, personally, I kind of like the idea of a competition. You know, do we think we can spit a seed further than him? Let's do that. Immediately, you shoved the majority of what was left of your watermelon slice in your mouth just to get a seed to prove your point. As soon as you could, you sent that seed sailing into the tree. Did you see that, Cove? Cove burst into laughter that a wide. You could tell he was equal parts surprised and impressed. Can you do that again? I didn't see where it landed. Of course I can. You popped another seed into your mouth and focused on where the last one landed. Setting the seed free, you got to go even further this time.
Not bad.
Not bad. You had Cove chuckling. It was taking a lot of focus to stay looking serious and not break into laughter yourself. I'd like to see you try. I will. Cove took in a mouthful of watermelon, face grimacing when he had the seed, and his expression morphed into a focused look and he sent that seed flying, landing in a similar spot to yours. Wait, you got to do 2. I need another try. He spoke before you could even comment on his non-victory. His determination got you laughing. He quickly sent another closer to where your second one. Teams were evenly matched. For
Yeah.
for now. For the next several minutes, you both kept carving seeds from your slices and giggling at the ridiculousness of it. Eventually, a truce was called, and you both went back to eating the neglected watermelon flash. I wonder if I'll have another slice. That's your 3rd one already. That bad? Tastes really good. Alright. How do we handle the fact that he is probably he would probably, if given the opportunity, eat half a watermelon to himself? Just, like, with a spoon? Do we smile at him? Do we bump him with our shoulder? Do we be like, no, that's fine, it's alright? Do we sigh affectionately in the... What am I gonna do? Sort of way. I like the idea of sighing affection, because that is something that could very much be a real reaction. Just the, what am I gonna do with you? This is going to be watermelon slice 4, and 5, and then 6, because you're gonna eat all the watermelon, and it's just that simple. Yep. If another slice is gonna make you happy, it will. Go ahead, I'm not gonna stop you. Cove picked up another slice, and he smiled at you. A little while later, Cove flinched, making a confused sound. Don't know. He slowly put his current slice down on the next to him. Are you okay? Yeah. He stood up, head tilted back to look at the sky, and his feet took him to the middle of the... Did you notice anything? What do you mean?
Huh.
I felt a raindrop. Sun's still out. You put down your watermelon slice and hopped off your front step. Immediately you felt a tap of water on the crown of your head, making you yelp. You're right! Cove was still staring up at the sky, and you watched as he began blinking more rapidly. When he finally turned your direction, his face was bemused. It's a sun shower. It seemed crazy, but soon you couldn't avoid the drops that had begun increasing into the light sun shower. Sun showers. Booming with laughter, Cove kicked off his shoes towards his front door and reveled in the moment. Oh, hell yeah. I love sun. Like, especially as a kid. Come on. Running around the yard, you know, friggin' heck yeah. Excited. You closed your eyes and threw your head back, letting the rain shower over you. Cool drops felt so right after. Feeling energized, you ran over to Cove and laughed at how soaked he already was. Not that he cared, because he was so busy spinning in the middle of the... Following his lead, you spun yourself. Just as suddenly as the sprinkling started, it stopped and left you dripping, the smell of wet asphalt and soiled. Cove caught your eyes, running a hand through his wet hair, combing it back and frowned.
Aww.
It's over. The drops of rain clinging to his face almost could have been mistaken for tears. He sounded disappointed. Well, it was fun. I wish it lasted longer. I've had enough rain for once. Hell no. You didn't have anything to say, or you were shocked. Honestly, you know, well, it was fun. I don't. Yeah, it's so cool that it happened. Then you looked over at your door and you knew Ma wasn't going to be happy to see you trailing water. Cove rubbed his arm. He must have been thinking the same thing. Watch you.
It's okay.
You can dry off at my house if you want. My parents won't mind. Yeah, thanks, let's do that. You're the sweetest guy I know. I don't want to cause trouble or I'm fine. No, you know? Look, we remember way back when we were 8 and Mom yelled at us because we brought in half the beach for splashing each other, so you know what? He's the sweetest guy because you would be very damp otherwise. Thanks. It's not a big deal. It is. I could already hear my mom's cries over my wet footsteps being all over the hall. Yeah, it would be bad to put it down. He chuckled at his little pun. Cove led you inside and you stayed close to him. We have a ton of spare towels. I've just got to dig them out of the hall closet. Do we? You have thanks for doing this. What should I do? Or I think I'm gonna need to borrow some clothes from you too. Do we steal the boys' clothes? Because we all know, everyone who has ever been female or been subjected to females knows, the moment you hand the lady your sweatshirt or your comfy top or something, you are never getting it back. So do we steal the boys? I'm here for stealing his clothes, but I figured give people the opportunity to, determine if we totally borrow. Otherwise, I'm going. Nobody? All right. Then, I think I'm gonna need to borrow some clothes from you. Cove didn't have any towels yet, but he came back into eye shot so you could see him stare at you flatly and roll his eyes. Ha ha. Not joking. Be nice to borrow a shirt. He raised an eyebrow and a tiny frown paired with blush.
I
mean, if you're serious, I'm just gonna dry my stuff off, but I can get something for you. Thanks, Cove. Stolen a shirt. With that, Cove disappeared and returned in no time. He wasn't making much eye contact, but he had towels in hand, plus what seemed to be one of his pajama shirts. Oh, score! Stole a pajama shirt. It was bright pink color, dark brown seashell pattern. Oh, you were certain it would look great. So, well, here it is. I hope that worked. Thanks. You accepted both the towel and the shirt. You wrapped the cloth around your neck temporarily and took a trip to his bathroom. The shirt was old, but very soft. You already felt more comfortable just thinking about having it on instead of your current. You left your shirt over the shower curtain rod to dry, patted yourself down with a towel, flipped Cove's shirt on. You wrapped your arms around your door. The change didn't completely fix your but it was definitely improved, especially since lucky to be close in size to Cove. It fit you comfortably. And you couldn't deny it was just a little bit thrilling to wear a piece of clothing. You almost couldn't believe it. Not wanting to keep Cove waiting, you promptly returned to the living room. He looked up to greet you after hearing you come back down. How'd it go? Is it good? It looks good. What? Really? He chuckled a broken laugh, unsure what the proper thing to say about this kind of situation. Keeping eye contact was even more of a challenge. Yeah, it fits. Like, it was made for you. Nobody saw you. But it's actually, fine. You got the impression that just as you felt something at wearing it, he was having a similar reaction in it. Thanks.
You're welcome.
A sudden call caught both. I thought I heard voices. Hi, Mom. Shh. Cove's mom strolled into the living room with a curious grin. What happened here? You're both wet. There was a sun shower. Cove smiled back at Karen. We came inside to dry off. My moms don't want me going into my house.
Right.
Right, so I told Valaria to come back here. That was very sweet of you, baby. She ruffled Cove's wet hair and laughed at the drops of water that took off. And then a light came to Kira's eyes.
What do you think?
I have an idea. Why don't we go for a drive? It has to beat standing around the house and you'll air dry in no time. Cove only offered a shrug and a bent smile to his mom. He looked at you for a real answer. Brack, yeah, I like driving's fun. This'll be good. Kira pulled out her cell phone from her pocket to call your mom. They had swapped numbers early in the...
See you soon.
Head on out to the garage. I'll meet you there in just a minute.
Sorry.
Sorry my mom can be so pushy. She gets some idea in her head and that's what she does. That's okay. Thanks for letting me come. I didn't do anything. That wasn't true at all, but let him get away with it. Come on. Cove led you to the car and Kira wasn't too far behind.
Okay.
Into the back, you two. Once the three of you were situated inside, I started it and drove out of the residence. When she hit the main road, the car sped up and she rolled the back windows down all the way.
Hey!
Hey! Cove started laughing as he kept trying in vain to keep his hair from flying to his eyes too much. Meanwhile, you closed your eyes as the wind whipped against you. I said this drive was gonna be good for getting air dried. Yeah, but I didn't agree to this much air. Cove tried pressing the window, but nothing happened. His eyebrows furrowed in frustration.
No way!
You disabled the back? Sorry, can't hear you. Smiling deviously, Kira turned on the radio and then turned it up to be heard over the... Oh, I am here for the chaos. Here, laugh and enjoy the event. You yelled into the wind and burst into laughter. Looking over at Cove, you saw him relax. He seemed glad that you were at least having fun. Oh. And then something struck the side of your... Several papers were freed from under the car's seats and were blown out. Oh, they can't go out the windows! Cove began haphazardly reaching around the space to try and get them all back on track. I will help. I will be amused, and I will help. And hello, and welcome back. This is the Slice of Life. Hello again. Mom, close the windows! Kira offered no response other than talk. Just kept driving. Cove snatched several of the papers out of the air, and you caught others, preventing most of them flying out the window. You showed Cove your collection while grinning wide. I think we pretty much got all of them. You figured if they were sitting at the back of the car, they couldn't be that important, and couldn't be important enough to get upset over, but Cove continued. Your smile started to slip, and that his expression softened. I hope so. Thanks for helping. The sun set completely, and at that, Kira rolled up the window. Cove let out a big sigh and released the random bits of paper he had in his... My mom is cool. I see, and hello and welcome back. He ran a hand through his wind-blown hair and laughed with a bit of exasperation. Feeling good? No, you know what? We're feeling good. Like, this is basically just, we've taken a long drive. That's it. I don't mind a long drive. The evening had really turned out to be more interesting than you expected. Grinning, you were happy with your odds with whatever was gonna happen next. Cove watched you with interest. Focus was taken by a new comment from Mom. Not bad, doing pretty good. Getting through the story very nicely, getting through some fun moments, chatting with people. I bet you're not feeling damp anymore. No, but now I feel tripped. No, I'm siding with Kira. I am sorry. She said you were gonna be air dried. This is exactly the sort of move I would pull. This is exactly the sort of move my mom would pull. This is exactly the sort of move that I could see someone like you. Flat out. She did say she was taking us on a drive to air out, and that's what happened. Precisely, Valaria. Kira continued driving. The radio volume was adjusted for the closed windows, and everyone was sitting a bit more comfortable. Kira lowered the sound even more after pulling into a red light. She took the chance to turn around, and you caught her coy smirk.
So?
You for being a... Does anyone know what we drove past during the drive site? I'm not sure I want. A movie theater! Okay, places have one around somewhere. It isn't that late, you know. We can probably still catch a show.
What?
Killy Mom, we don't even know it be playing.
Come on.
That's what makes it fun. Oh, heck yeah. Alright, do we want to see a movie? I mean, I'm here for it. But like, how excited? Do we want to say like, I want to see the movie? Or like, do we want to go full tilt? Heck yeah. Like, I'm probably gonna go super positive with it, but it's like a 1 or 2 sort of vibe. It's like, how much level of excitement are we? Because this is like, here level of excitement, and this is like, here excitement. So, I'll give it a 5 count, and then I'll, you know, roll the dice if I need to, or I'll just pick whatever I feel. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, 7, 8. Go see. Well, yes, we're gonna see it, but like, how excited are we? Like, 1 is I want to see a movie. That's like the excitement level here, you know, chill. But okay, this, the heck yeah, is like, friggin' yeah, let's go be super excited about a potential movie, you know? No matter what, we're gonna see it. It's just like, I'm a 4 for movies. That's fair. Hound is very much a hell yeah movies. So we don't get a choice, but we will find out. Both of you? He seemed hesitant. You gave him a smile and Cove eased up a bit. Don't get me wrong, I'm not advocating impulsive behavior every day, but it's important to seize the moment when you can. We might never have a night like this again. And don't worry, Valeria, I said I'd watch over you for the night, not just for 10 minutes or so. I'll put your parents in the loop about hitting the movies as soon as we get there.
That's...
I didn't bring any shoes. Here are our choices. You should always bring shoes when you're going out. I'm not wearing any either, or it just doesn't matter. It's like the equivalency of catching the like 10 o'clock showing. Do we care at like some random movie theater during midsummer? Do we actually care about shoes? I don't. Exactly, it doesn't matter, you know? But how am I gonna go inside barefoot?
It's all right.
We'll sneak through quick. No one will notice. You can do it. Just this once. You bounced in your seat excitedly that it was actually going to happen. Kira was right. You never got to. Kira drove into the theater parking lot and shut the engine off. With the unbuckling of her seatbelt, she ushered you and Cove out. Despite being hesitant to leave, once outside, Cove burst into a sprint towards the center. You hurried behind, but you figured the cold tarmac on his bare feet was what was fueling him on ahead. Well, I imagine on the floor of those stairs. Look. This poor boy apparently either he didn't have shoes on all day, at which point he has been on tarmac and everything all day and is gonna need a shower anyway, or you know. Woo cute people? It's a slice of life visual romance game where basically your goal is to either be friends or love interests with one of 3 different options based on the DLC you have or the game you have, you know, acquired. Because the game itself, the full game, is free. You basically can buy extras that allow you to woo a gentleman named Derek and a gentleman named Baxter at different points and have like multiple endings. And of course the ability to plan actually a wedding with Cove, the delightful individual who forgot his shoes at the movie theater. You know, at basically past what his step 4 epilogue. So, and these are all the well, thank you, but these are all the moments that basically create that sort of, you know, lasting impression of your friendship and your relationship wherever. Inside, you noticed that there were no lines. All the current shows had already started. You were paid that no mind and rode up towards the counter with some words of encouragement. A third of the running time is ads these days. We haven't missed anything. Meanwhile, Cove stood next to you awkwardly. He shifted from one foot to the other and constantly kept. His shady behavior would have made him much more likely to get caught than standing still would have if there were still people around really to notice. Similar but not the same. This is a slice of life visual novel, a kind of real life simulation game. So The Sims is one of the premier large scale real life simulation games. This is a visual novel, so this would be put into the same category as, say, what's that horror movie one that everyone loves that I accidentally got a copy of because we didn't know it was a horror movie one? Japanese, delightful, stamp. Anyway, it's like a PG-13 version of a visual, you know. Yeah, exactly, you know. Yes, Doki Doki Literature Club. Think of it like a non-horror version, PG-13-ish Doki Doki. It was pretty goofy. Alright, I'm not offering him my shoes. They're my shoes. However, shall we console him, tease him, complain with him, or just keep quiet? I mean, feel like, you know, the shoulder, it's cool, buddy, it's cool, you'll be fine, could work out. Alright, let's console the poor boy. You poked Cove's arm to get his attention. It'll be okay, Cove. His expression softened into an appeased smile. Yeah, thanks. Eliciting a sigh of relief out of you, Kira returned with tickets in hand. She quickly herded you and Cove to the showing. I am so sorry for that little hiccup, but hold on, we've almost made it home free. Once we sit down, it'll be smooth sailing. The lights were already off in the showing room, but the movie hadn't started yet. The upcoming movie trailers were still playing.
Aha!
Yes. Keeping her volume into a hushed tone, Kira couldn't help but burst with excitement over your luck. You followed her down the walkway until she spotted open seats in the middle-ish area of the theater. Kira pointed those seats, looking over her shoulder at you and Cove, waiting for input. Cove nodded and you decided to give her a thumbs up. She led the way. When you reached your seats, Kira sighed contentedly. Cove gave a sigh of his own and lifted his feet to sit cross-legged instead of keeping them out on the floor. Smart man! Smart. Oh, well. Feel free to, hop back wherever you are. He then leaned over and whispered to you. You have any idea what the movie is? No, didn't hear the name or anything when your mom bought it. Oh. After a couple more previews, the main event began. It dawned on you pretty quickly that this was a horror film, one about a group of students being haunted by ghosts. I'm more of a psychological horror person, but I do enjoy horror flicks. Are we feeling horror flicks? Come on. Who here likes horror flicks? Raise your hand. I know, I'm not alone. I know I'm not alone. Are we psyched? Could we live with that? Is it annoying, nervous, terrified, or no? I highly doubt it's like... I feel like it's probably one of the top. Alright, Hound is agreed. Hound is agreed, horror. Once in a while, good horror movie, alright. Going in, you weren't sure what to expect, but this was a fantastic. You hope this turned out to be. Glancing over at Cove, you noticed he looked less than thrilled. He bit down on his bottom lip and stared at the screen with trembling eyes. Cove had never been a fan of ghosts or intentionally frightening things. That was something you learned about him. Oh, honey. Do we grab his hand? Do we kind of sit closer to him? I feel like we could totally make the move despite his mom being in the next seat of hey, I'm gonna grab your. Yeah. Do we grab the? I feel like that's either gonna go really, really well or really, really bad. And either he's gonna be fine with it or he's gonna shriek. And I'm here for you. So let's grab hold of his hands. Your fingers wrapped tight around his and he jumped slightly at the unexpected touch. Yep. Didn't shriek, but did jump. Alright, fair enough. But his expression softened when he peeked at you out of the corner of his eyes. He gave your hand a squeeze to silently voice support. That made you feel good. Sometimes the other people in the theater screamed or jeered or clapped depending on what was happening. Your heart was pounding in your chest when the movie finally came to an end. The main character resolved the haunting, but in a dark conclusion, they didn't make it. You stayed to let the credits roll and for the theater to clear out, then it was time to head back to the car. He still has no shoes on. Both you and Cove took the same seat in the back of the car again. Even though it was late, Kira was exuding an upbeat, cheerful energy. What a great flick!
I guess.
It wasn't so bad in the end. You enjoyed it, baby? No, I mean, it's hard to explain. I got really tense, and I guess that's the point of horror stuff, but I kind of don't want to have to feel it. Now that it's all over, though, it was sort of cool, too.
Fantastic.
That's so great. Valeria, how are you feeling? Oh. Alright. Was it awesome? Terrible but fun? Bad? How we feeling? I love terrible but fun movies. But like, what do we think? That's that kind of plot where, so basically what we gathered from the plot is that a group of college kids went to a house to fix a set of hauntings because either they inherited the house or who knows, a la Supernatural. And they resolved the hauntings, but the issue is they died in the process. So it had that like tragic, end where you saved everyone, but not yourself, Which, again, to some degree, in certain areas, very a la Supernatural, depending on the episode. But Supernatural, so it makes sense. But honestly, that doesn't sound like a terrible plot. It does sound kind of like cheesy. He's like teeny plot, but I can also get behind them. That kind of plot is one that reminds me of things like House of a Thousand, or things of like The Scream or the Saw series, where it's just one of either many movies, or it's one of those movies where it's gonna be like super cool. Either way, I'm calling it awesome. Sorry. Give her a smile. I still can't believe they died. It was nice when things aren't all obvious and you don't get to really know how it'll end until you see it, but I wanted it to. I demand a happy ending. I love how it all fell apart when it seemed like things were okay. I saw it coming, you nodded along with what Clover was saying. So, I'm a personal fan of that. I love when things like seem like they're gonna be okay and then just completely collapse. Again, I like watching tea unfold, but I don't like actively being part of the tea. So, me personally, I'd vote for. If someone else wants to toss a vote in 1, 2, 3, 4, but feel free. But I personally love the idea of when things fall apart after everyone thinks. Reminds me of like some really fun movies I've watched. I gotta watch more. I really do. 3, 2, 1. I'm not left. I adjust the sled. I thought it fit what they were going for. That's true. You and Cove spent the rest of the car ride absorbed in conversation about them. So, who's hungry? You were surprised when you realized Kara didn't drive you home, but to a drive-thru burger restaurant said, oh man, this is like your like friend's cool mom driving you to like, hang, dude, I'm here for it. Yeah. That's the spirit. Get whatever you want. Alright, we can pick multiple things. No, I'm not going to order one of everything, Hound. We can have a maximum of 4 things. I will let people pick 4 things. For the things you can't kind of see, this is a soda and a milkshake. Alright, I'm hiding a soda and... But we can get 4 things, Hound. Otherwise, he'll just tell me to pick the entire menu. So, hamburger, cheeseburger, chicken sandwich, spicy chicken sandwich, french fries, onion rings, salad. 4 and 11. 4 and 11. 1, 2, 3, 4. Spicy chicken sandwich, alright. And I'm gonna count to 11 to get which one it is because it'll, like, shrink the list. Also, I hope you have fun dyeing your hair. It's actually quite interesting and a lot of fun to dye your hair if you've never dyed your hair before. A few tips. Don't mix permanent and semi-permanent if you don't go professional. Don't leave bleach on if you do bleach yourself in any way, shape, or form for more than an hour. Honestly, it'll fry your hair. And 3, if you do get it professionally done, always make sure to go to a reputable stylist that you genuinely enjoy the portfolio of, and leave a generous tip. Anywho, so that's number 4, 5, 7, 8. Alright, so far we have spicy chicken sandwich and a milkshake. We are allowed 2 more items. Do we want anything else? Hamburger, cheeseburger, chicken sandwich, french fries, onion rings, salad, chicken nuggets, mozzarella sticks, soda, soft serve cone, chocolate chip cookie, or that. Color recommendations, honestly, it varies by person to person. Like, obviously go with a color you know you're going to enjoy. Like, I'm not going to go pink. Color pink. Just like my sister, who enjoys purples, probably never gonna go green because while she enjoys the color green, not so much her hair. She's more of like a purple, blues, or pinks kind of person. Kudos to her. If you have a job that won't let you have really strange, unusual hair colors, red is a safe option because you can actually blend that into like almost like a copper sort of tone and have a nice vibrant red, but that doesn't say I'm not a business professional. You know what? I want to cook. And french fries. And there we go. Is that alright?
Of course.
I'd say okay. But yeah, don't mix permanent and semi-permanent. You will nair your head. Flat out, I have done it. This hair, oh yeah, I've only been growing it since 2020, so since 29, like very end of 2019, I want to say, so it's like 4 years of growth. Exactly, you know, ginger's very much a good one. I was red for, oh god, from the time I was about 15 until the time I was about 23, I was copper penny red. And then after that, I started transitioning to other colors. In between that, I had like another color here or there, like I did black once or twice. I did a very, very blonde in there once or twice, like, you know, once. But I was more or less copper penny red for like 8 years. And I worked in educational settings. I worked in professional settings. Ginger is a very fun color if you want a good color, but still have to be in a professional environment that doesn't like alternative hair color. If you work in a place or are in a place where you can have an alternative hair color, red and pink work really well together, and they can actually be really fun for like an ombre effect depending on how you do it, because I've seen people who do like the red to pink fade where it does like the whole spectrum down. That's more a professional job. I have a little bit of a trouble with that. I can get highlights here and there, but it's still a little bit of a pain. But it's still like, yeah, have fun with your hair if you can. Cove was tickled by the size of your list and had no doubt. Kira pulled up to the window and ordered what you had asked for first. She then decided to order one of everything on the value. Whoa, what are you gonna do with all of that? Eat it.
Really?
Full menu? Even after Valoria picked most of that already? That's right, there are only maybe 10 things on it, and they're about $1 each. I can swing it. Besides, whatever we don't finish, I'm gonna feed to your dad. He'll be in heaven. Cove sighed affectionately at his mother's antics. Thank you.
You're welcome.
You're quite welcome. A few minutes later, Kira exchanged her money for multiple bags of food, which she quickly tossed to you both in the back seats. She then drove off and... Could you pass me something? What should I grab? Surprise me. You chose one of the wrap sandwiches and handed it over to me. You had no idea if it was a burger or something.
Thank you.
Thanks very much. Accepting that this was what was happening, Cove shrugged and started pulling food out of the bag for himself. Cove ended up with some onion rings and was happily munching. I am grabbing one of the things that I particularly asked for. You know, eat my fries, eat a sandwich, you know, that sort of thing. You weren't even questioning Kira's crazy ride anymore. The adventure continued, and you were so preoccupied in the back that you almost didn't realize that the car had stopped. Kira turned to look over her shoulder. Okay, party people, it seems we reached the end of the road. Confused, you checked out the window and saw nothing except empty road ahead, and then you noticed it. And now leaving. Kira took you through the entire day. What are we doing here? Kira turned the car around and parked along the side of the road. I think you could both use a break to stretch your legs, and I doubt anyone is gonna come through here at this time of night. Besides, I need to make a call, so go on. Cove shook his head and got out of the car without... I'm gonna, I need that. I actually have sub emotes in the works with my artist, actually. Got some really cute ones incoming. Got some absolutely delightful, ideas. One is most definitely gonna be a little like stone with mushrooms because of how many times my Sims will die in The Sims. So we've got some in the works, and they're gonna be super fun and super cute, and I cannot wait. I'm working with my artist now. You got out and caught up to Cove. He was busy looking at the stars and stretching his arms out while they strolled around. Too. You thought being there was exciting. Being there was pretty cool in your mind. You didn't care much overall. You felt worried, Matt. No, you know what? I think that's... I'm here for being... Oh, I don't accept personal requests and I have an artist, but you're welcome to post them in the art section of the... Being there was pretty cool in your mind. This was a good place to stop. If she was gonna take us all around town, at least it wasn't done halfway. Cove smiled, glancing from the stars to you. Shortly after, Cove's expression changed. His eyebrows furrowed and it seemed like he was thinking hard about what he wanted next.
I'm so sorry.
Valeria, I'm really sorry for my mom being crazy. She isn't always like this, seriously. Why is she being like this now? I think she feels like she has to get out there and do things with me while she can, and she wants to make the time memorable. This visit has been really different than it didn't start off. Thinking about how Kira's trip had begun this summer, you could understand why clients. She probably wanted all the... No, I get it. I like this one. She's giving you a taste of your own medicine. Because that is exactly what we have learned he does. He climbs houses to get, to get his friggin', desires across. He just, he friggin', tries to run away at 8 to go see his mom. Like, he thought that was logical. Like, he just does stuff. So I'm voting for 5. But if we have other opinions, I will gladly take them, but I vote for them. 5 count, and then we will pick. We want 3, 2, 1. I hear typing. She's giving you a taste of your own medicine. What? You always do whatever you want, no matter what everyone else is thinking. Now your mom's putting you through. Cove took a second to mull over that as or crap. That's not totally. It's completely right. His smile. It went silent between you both, so you jumped when you heard the sound of the car door close. Cove, Valeria! You turned to see Kira by the driver's side, waving. The sight brought a smile to Cove's face, and she quickly made her way over to where you both were standing. Thanks for waiting. I didn't mind.
My baby!
How did I end up with such a polite boy? He ruffled his hair, and Cove lowered his head, accepting the compliment. You thought about how interesting how Cove interacted. And then the memory hit you. That first summer, Cove ran away to very small, trying to find his way back to his mom. And now they were here, together. I'm gonna keep that to whisper. I feel like keeping that thought to yourself is the best option. Because that sounds like it would stir up. And like not, embarrass the boy, like actual like drama with, with Kira and Cliff and all of that, like actual issues. Because, sorry that, your 8-year-old accidentally totally tried to run away, No, I'm sorry, that doesn't fit well. That's a me thought. me. Anyways, it's kind of cool to be here, right on the edge of town. Exactly, we're standing on a precipice. You know? Yeah. The point where you're like 13 and just allowed to like explore the mall without your mom, you know, or your family member, or you know, them constantly hovering, or your younger siblings, you know, where you're allowed to go to the docks by yourself, where, you know, you're starting to enter adulthood, but everyone still kind of treats you like. I knew you'd get it. It's good to appreciate these times and places. Kira let out a big breath of we should probably call it a night, huh? Let's go. I can't wait to collapse in bed. Kira shyly smiled, turned to the car. Quietly, you all made your way back to it. Cove naturally followed you, taking the seat nearby in the back with a collection of fast food bags still strewn. You rested your head into the seat. The car roared to life. Cove leaned in close to you.
Hey.
Hey, I can talk to your moms if you get me. It was my mom's idea. Have a choice. Honestly, hands down, favorite answer. This was worth it. Your mouth pulled into the biggest grin. You say so. Also, don't worry about bringing the shirt back when we get home. Just till tomorrow? You just simply... Your face went warm. Good. You weren't getting it back no matter what. You're the best. Secretly, you'd hope to never give it back. Thank. Also, honestly, like, answer number 4 is my fave. Just the good. Weren't getting it back anyway. You lost that shirt the moment you handed it to, you know, the female you are totally crushing. Like, you know, good. You weren't gonna get it back no matter what. Boo smiled amused, but said nothing. The drive home was smooth and uneventful. The radio was off completely, and you felt your eyelid. Nap on Cove. Odd orbs. You were too tired to keep your head, and it felt quite comfortable. Cove didn't have any issue. He ended up leaning into it. He must have been exhausted, too. We're happy to stay close like that. It was warm, comfortable. When you opened your eyes, you expected to still be in the car, but not your bedroom. It was somehow already morning. You couldn't remember how you ended up there. Oh, when you're so tired in the car and someone like shakes you awake and you like half kind of climb your stairs, ditch your shoes, sleep in your have to. I know that. Sitting up in bed, thought about how last night was quite an experience. It would have almost felt like a dream if you weren't still wearing the shirt Cove had. Nothing. And you were glad that you got to have a spontaneous S. Alright, now we are down to 1 through 10. Now I can actually roll a dice if I need, and not, you know, have to leave one out. Ta-da! D10s, tiny little mini blue crystal D10. So we have a 1 through 10 pick. Either A, someone picks a number 1 through 10, or I roll the dice. So I'm gonna roll the dice, and if anyone picks, we'll go with that. I rolled 2, so you're waiting. 4, 1. We're gonna do all of them anyway, so you know. Guess we're doing family. Difference for anyone who, you know, is interested in this game. These are the freebies. These and these are not. Whoop, wrong way. Wrong one. Family. The sun warmed your skin from its place in the sky, and you closed your eyes, enjoying the mix of heat and pleasant breeze that drifted past. I'm sorry. If this was my view outside my backyard, I would... You and Lee had spread out a blanket on top of one of the hills behind your house and were relaxing there for a while. Lee had come over earlier in the day, and while a range of activities had been discussed, from staying home to heading down to the beach, a picnic on the hill had been the choice you both settled. A small spread was laid out in front of you. Some bottled water, soft drinks, close chips, sliced fruit, vessels. You sat up and reached for a snack, listening to Lee talk away about the musical show. It was unbelievable. There was singing, dancing, and crazy stunts, and it was all done live right in front of my face. Maybe one day we can go together. I've got to see more shows like that. You smiled at his enthusiasm, knowing how much she enjoyed singing and performing. She was good at it too. You had gotten the chance to hear her sing a couple of tunes, and you know that she put a lot of effort in. Do we like to sing and have talent? Have we been told it's singing? I personally enjoy singing. I don't think I'm very good at it. I've been told I'm not bad, but like, I personally don't. Oh, well, that's you know, it's a D4. It's not that. Ooh, I got 2. You like to sing and had talent of your own. Fair enough. It was nice the two of you could share that interest. I wonder if maybe we could put on our own show? Think of how much fun it would be. We could perform for our parents and ask our friends and some other people to come and watch too. It totally worked. Oh. Do we want to do it? Stage fright? Like embarrassing? Let's give it. Well, if we're playing more extroverted, I'm gonna argue against the stage fright and the last two. So like, mostly because even if you are not going to ever be a performer, someone who is extroverted, I feel like is not going to. They might get stage. They might. You know, give it a go. It wasn't something you had really thought about before, but if Lee wanted to do it, you could at least give it a shot. Lee clapped happily and bounced on the balls of her feet, beyond happy that you were on board. Yeah.
Woo!
I'm gonna sing. Do you want to too, or maybe do something else? I mean, sure. I'll sing. You know. Cool. We'll perform an incredible duet. Is there anything else that's coming to your head? Oh, wait. We play the guitar. That is an option. You can play a guitar with us. That'll be perfect. Is there anything else that's coming to your head? I'm going to look at them. If no one thinks of anything or suggests anything under our 5 count, I will go back, and that is all we will do, is we will sing and play the guitar. 3, 2, 1. Oh, we're singing and playing the guitar. The two of you ran back to your house to grab the supplies you needed, dodging your mom's amused question before heading out to the blanket started. You settled down with your guitar sitting in your lap. Me and you discussed the plans in detail, settling on a song first and then practicing out the parts. The afternoon passed quickly, the sun dropping lower and lower in the sky, and after having thoroughly worked out how the show was going to go, you decided to... Oh, you should know. We should have invited Cove to watch us practice our show. He could tell if it's bad before we put on the real thing. That's smart. You guess that would have been okay. I'm glad you didn't. You said nothing. I mean, I feel like that would have been. It might have been nice for... You felt weird when thinking about him watching. We could ask him to watch us another time. Maybe. It's too bad Derek is in the neighborhood today. I like him. Yes. Is he a good person? Nope. Excited teenager. I really like him too. I knew you would. But speaking of boys we like, what's the relationship status between you and... Yeah, it's good. I don't know. You blushed and said nothing. You shouldn't. Stop. Things are alright. You know. Are we? You know. Oh no. This one, by the way, stricken from the record. I'm sorry. It's your cousin. You're gonna gossip, you know? That's good. 4. No, that one's stricken from the record. So, since that one's stricken from the record, the new number 4 is, I think things are alright. Alright is better than bad. But like, really, are you gonna be telling him that you have a crush on him anytime sooner? I don't have a crush on. I'll tell him soon. No way, I'm not telling him. Pretty sure he already knows. We weren't sure if you want. So for the purposes of being able to potentially woo other people, I would suggest not telling him soon, or just flat out totally denying you have a crush on Cove. I don't know what anyone's talking about. I don't like Cove. You know, because you're 13 and totally, no, I don't have a crush on my next door neighbor with his, you know, cute glasses and, you know, green hair. I mean, I could go with another 4 from pound. That would be. I don't have a crush on Cove. I'll tell him soon. No way, I'm not telling him. I'm pretty sure. You know what? I'm stealing another 4. I'm pretty sure he already. Pretty sure isn't sure. You should declare it to him. You mumbled something incoherent and she. You know that he has a crush on you too. It's obvious for him. It's obvious for you. So why not just do it? Didn't say anything. Wonder where about the possibility. Have you talked a little more about Cove amongst other topics? And you found that it was nice having someone to speak with about these sort of things. Finally, you both decided to pack everything up and head back home. Lee talked excitedly about the you did, and you thought back on what you had already accomplished. You could definitely do with a little more practice, but what you had so far was a solid foundation to form it. You could definitely do with a little more practice up there. Upon walking through the front door, you were met by your mom and Elizabeth hovering around you, living. Tension hung thick in the air. 3 of them turned to you and Lee, frowning slightly. You had interrupted exactly what? You weren't. Wow, who died? What's going on? You looked between them and said nothing. Hello? Joke? Like the joking sort of thing. Honest interest. Confusion. Also mild. I'm just gonna ask what's going on. You know? When in doubt, just ask what's going on. Your mom just looked at each, wondering which of them was going to speak first. Eventually, Mom cleared her throat and spoke.
Oh.
We're just having a talk with your sister. The room fell quiet, no one quite knowing what. You felt incredibly awkward, but the silence didn't last long. You don't have to stop just because those 2 are here. There's no reason to try keeping it a secret. Elizabeth was mad, with her arms folded defensively over her chest, but your mom's not in an agreement.
Well...
Elizabeth was asking about her biological one. The words spun around you at the news. You couldn't understand what's happening. When you glanced at Lee, she shuffled her feet uncomfortably as though she didn't know if she'd be there or not anymore. You didn't know either. Your moms had always been open and honest about the fact that neither of them had given birth to you or your sister, but the details hadn't been fully explained before. It made sense that Elizabeth thought about her biological parents and wanted to know more. You just hadn't ever thought you'd accidentally stumble into it. Elizabeth looked at your parents expectantly. She wasn't going to let the unintentional interruption derail them. We don't want to keep that information from either of you. It's your right to know your past, and we did want to wait until you asked. So, well, it's happening now, so... Your mom shared a nervous glance. Ma took in a quick breath. I adopted you from the Philippines. You're just a baby. Elizabeth dropped her arm, her eyebrow shooting upward in surprise. Wait, I wasn't born here?
No.
No, you weren't. You could clearly see that your sister was appalled by this. You struggled even more with what to do or how to react. Am I gonna have to pass some tests to even be a citizen?
No.
No. You were adopted into the care of things, you're already a citizen. Nothing. I followed all the laws when it came to bringing a child into the US. Nothing can be held against me. Elizabeth sighed, placated with the information, but still far from happy. Who were my parents? As people? Why did they put me up for adoption in the first place? Ma softly put her hands over Elizabeth's shoulder, trying to provide some support before she gave.
I am so sorry.
So sorry. Your parents were reported to. They didn't go into details and specifics of how, but you're an orphan. I wish we had better. Elizabeth was torn between emotions, her eyes filled with tears as she threw her hands in the air, settling her rage. Great! So I can never meet them, even if I wanted to. Not that I could have anyway, since they lived in another part of the world when they were still alive. Elizabeth turned her back on you and your moms and stormed off, sprinting up the stairs into her room before anyone else could stop her. Go talk. Ma immediately started to follow her, but Mom gently held her by the arm and shook her. We should give her a little taste. Your Ma's head hung low. She stopped. With Elizabeth now gone, the two of them seemed to remember you and Lee were still standing awkwardly off to the side. I'm sorry you had to see all that. It's how I expected that would have happened when the time came. But since it's the topic of the day, Gloria, is there anything you like you deserve to know after? He patted your back and look. Fuck it. We're 13. We're old enough. Let's learn. Your parents nodded both. You reply right. I can leave. You want to have things be private. Nah, I feel like it's gonna be a support system kind of day. I feel like regardless of what's going on, having a good emotional support system is gonna be paramount for this. So can you just stay? It's gonna be awkward, but like maybe a little less awkward? You can do that. Lee shifted a little closer to you in support, and you were glad to have her there with you. It made you feel a little stronger. You turned to face your parents again, preparing yourself for what they were about to tell you. Ma was the first to speak, her voice quivering with emotion. You were adopted as a baby, but 2 years after Elizabeth, they used a different organization. I mean, were adopted fast. We're sorry to tell you that your parents all. No other family member took you in. There were any. That's why we wanted to wait until you asked. We didn't want to suddenly drop that in half. We wanted you.
I'm sorry.
Sorry. Lee gave you a reassuring sweep in the arm, so she was there for you. Thanks for telling me. Okay, you said nothing. It's not your fault. You didn't kill them, right? Or are we angry or crying? We got a 1 through 6 people. We got lots of options. Does anyone have any opinion for the option? Five. 1, 0. Alright, we will roll. Fair enough. 6. We're apparently set on anger. I don't know if I've ever picked the angry emotion. I've done this a bunch of times. I've picked many different options, but let's go out with anger. You know, let's not follow the song that, you know, says you don't look back in anger, because apparently a bubble of anger built inside your chest. All of a sudden you were finding do we lash out or do we Personally, I'm the type to like keep it inside, go somewhere else, and just scream at the ocean or something, you know? Just because I understand, and even as a kid I understood, it's not nice to scream at people for don't shoot the messenger, basically. So I'm gonna keep it. Your face must have belayed your unhappiness. Your mom started looking more concerned.
Are you okay?
Are you gonna be okay? He watched you closely as though judging how exactly she should react to what's going on. Are we not fine? Are we okay? Are we going to cry? Like, we could cry. Crying now is death. Well, roll for it then. You know it doesn't help? A 6 and a d6. Alright. Since nobody else has given opinions, you're fine. You smoke with a fresh tone as though you had a load off. Your mom smiled sadly. They knew they believed. No one seemed to have any word. I'm gonna go outside. You turned on your heel with another word and headed towards the front door. These footsteps echoed from behind and you knew she was following. No, she's welcome to come. I feel like I don't want to scream at moms, but also because it's not like, again, don't shoot the messenger, but on the same vein, having the like same age cousins and family and friends, that's good. You know? You know, actually, I think I'm just gonna say, you know, if she wanted to come, she could. Without knowing really where you wanted to go, you began to walk down the street quietly, hiking. These footsteps echoed on the pavement behind you, got up, falling beside you. You turned and kept sure of what else to do. Everyone else had been so upset, and you didn't have the first idea on how. Eventually, you found yourself at the beach, feet sinking into the soft sand out of the ocean. Took off your shoes and paced the sand over the water's edge, letting the cool ocean swirl over you. Comfort. The ocean breeze your smell. Eventually, it took a seat down on the ground in the sun as it further and further before it disappeared. Cousin stalwartly kept you company without trying to force you. Nice of him. The sky shifted from blue to pink, orange, and then to the deep blue. A sudden shout drew your attention away from the sea. Someone was calling your name. Your head snapped, yelled. The edge of the beach, where grass met the sand, a silhouette in the dark, but the person was unmistakable. What was he doing? His eyes settled on you ahead. Realizing you were in fact there, he rushed down to the shore where you sat. You could tell he was out of breath when he approached. You rose to Grove, something happened? No, not to me anyway. I wanted to know what happened to you. I went to your house to say hi, but your parents said you were gone and that you needed to get away.
What's wrong?
I mean, I think something was going on after something like that, so I came to find you. Lee gave him a smile, but put a supportive hand on your shoulder. You now had to try to explain this to someone. A lot going on right now. It's nothing. You didn't speak to him. Thank you for coming. I'm glad you're here. Or do we just blurt out? Do we just flat out, like, you know, yell, basically? My parents. Like, obviously it's not that overdramatic, but like, on a 1 through 5, I figure ask, does anyone have any opinion on how we are going to tell co-holder our parents? Well, biological. I rolled a 5, so if nobody says anything, I'm just gonna yell at them, basically. Oh, that's that. Ugh. That's a 0 to 100. Thinking everything's okay, a little worried about your friend, too. BAM! Dead parents. You're voting for. You don't want me to, you know, yell about dead parents. Or 1. I'll agree to 1. I kind of wanted to see what would happen if I just yelled. Anything. Oh, there's a lot going on right now. Cove looked at you and his eyes slipping. What is it? My parents, from before my mom's died. Moms didn't say how. Maybe they don't know. But there wasn't any other family I could. So that's why I got adopted. Without having to do anything else, Cove reached out and pulled familiar warmth and felt. You have hugged him so many years that he is just Pavlovian trained that when things go bad, you hug. You hug and hugs help. His words were whispered comfortably into your ear. You don't have to do this, I'm okay. Now we can also cry. Or we just like, nah, no, honestly, I'm not gonna step back. But like, there's, I'm okay, or cry, do we, I don't know if like, I feel like I would cry, but like, I don't know if I'd cry in front of people. Like even friends, I feel like it'd be a little bit hard. 1 through 3, they're all good. I'm annoyed because like, you know, 1, 2, 3, 4. Out of 6. You know what? It seems mildly appropriate. That one would cry. Yeah. You pressed your face and the crook of his able to stop the tears. The hold on he had on you. Can you explain everything to me? Cove cried for you. You could cry with him. That's fair. You nodded softly before taking in a heavy breath and long. Cove sat quietly and listened to nodding every now and then, or talking and taking in a sharp inhale. It took a long time for you to relay the details. Dozens of stars pinpointed. Silence settled between you and Cove. Cove sat quietly, admitting everything. When he finally spoke, his words were quiet.
I'm so sorry.
I'm really sorry about what happened. He stops in a deep, shaky breath. The expression he was struggling was right. Honestly, I've done this one before. Like, you know, I feel bad that I don't feel worse about it. You know, you shrugged your shoulders, not knowing how to feel. I'm just mad. Or, you know, sad that you'll never get to. Feel like, in a way, I feel like I did when my dad died. And I'd feel bad that I didn't feel worse about it. Like, I totally feel bad about it now, and I do miss him, but, like, I hadn't seen him in for most of 7, so I just, for me at least, I feel bad that I didn't feel worse about it, you know? So my vote is 2. If anyone else has a vote, they are more than welcome to put it in chat. But otherwise, I'm gonna chill here for like 0.2 seconds and take another sip of water. If I run out of water, I so there. Alright. Yeah, I feel bad that I don't feel worse about it. I never knew them at all. They're strangers, even if they did have me. Aria, you're not doing anything wrong. You know that, right? Think that you can be as sad as you want for as long as you need, or you can feel okay about it when you want to. He sighed and hair as he looked at the ocean.
It's okay.
I guess what I'm trying to say is whatever you feel about it is how you feel about it. You don't have to force yourself to be different. Relief cry. If we're gonna cry, you know, that's a relief. That's a, you know, thank you for giving me permission to be okay. And also not okay. You know? I feel like this. His words made a lot of sense. You knew that despite everything you were going through, you would be okay. Even as the tears slowly rolled down your face, they felt comforting. Cove smiled at you a little, and you could tell he was trying to. And your moms definitely don't. It doesn't matter if you're not blood related, you're still definitely family. I can see. I hope you can too. You felt the reassurance. Your cousin tried not to interrupt your explanation or Cove's response to it. When the opportunity arose, she made it clear she shared the same sentiment. We're family. the sudden voice of your sister. You saw her standing a little way away. She walked closer and you didn't quite know what to do, what she was planning on saying.
So?
Would you mind going? I want to talk to just Valeria. You can come back, it's not going to be forever. Both seemed equal parts concerned and skeptical. Leaving now wasn't a concept that thrilled him. Lee wasn't exactly jumping to go, though she checked with you quietly. What do you think? I don't mind, you know? Yeah, look, she started this. It's smart to at least just kind of get it all. She may have started this and she's having to finish too. She just she fully admits. You nodded your head in agreement. If she wanted to talk to you in private, it was obviously about support. You waited until the two of you were alone before fixing her with an inquiry. Elizabeth folded her arms, looking over. Did Moms tell you about your parents? Yeah, she's gonna find out, you know. My birth parents also. Elizabeth broke eye contact out.
Sorry.
Why did you want to talk? Elizabeth raised an eyebrow at the question, though the answer should be obvious. I was worried about you. I was the one who brought it up, but I made you deal with whatever was left when I was gone. Yep, thank you. You nuked everything from orbit and left me to deal with the fallout. Thank you for acknowledging. She sighed, glancing upwards for a moment before settling on you once. I wanted to ask you what happened without everyone breathing down. That was pretty crappy of you to just bail. I'm amazed you noticed that was unkind. Thank you for thinking of me. I'm not mad at you, or quietly surprised. I feel like this is very much the sibling response to some degree, is the, you know, it was kind of crappy of you to just GTFO just a little bit. So, on the scale of 1 to 5, that or 3, I feel like is the ones I'd answer. You know, that was pretty crappy of you to just bail, or thank you for thinking of me. So, do we have thoughts? Do we have opinion? Do an even odds roll, just in case? 1, so a crappy one. Alright. 1. Pretty crappy. She rolled her eyes, but you didn't miss the small smile that threatened to peek out.
I know.
I know, I'm not very nice. I'm okay, Elizabeth. Didn't upset. How are you allowed to be that mature? The lightning spirits in her were quickly gone as she slipped back into a scowl. You have to be born in the US to be. What? You had never heard of that dream. It was your bafflement. I get I was never gonna be president, but it just feels weird having stuff taken away or not even getting a chance at it. I don't like having to know that when I was born, I was gonna have a completely different life. So different, I can't even think about what it looked like in my head. I could have spoken another language, lived away from everything I'd ever seen here, had someone else as my sibling. And then my parents died, and I was adopted, and the life I got became a totally new thing forever. I can't go back to what it was, and if I wanted to. A heaviness settled between you and the person who became your sister. I feel you know, I can vibe. Like, you know, it doesn't change anything, but it also doesn't change the fact that because of one incident, everything changed. You know? I can't stop wondering what my life would have been like if I wasn't adopted. There are so many things that could have been different. Elizabeth watched you seriously. She was still trying to make sense of herself. I don't know why today was the day. Nothing came up to make me ask the question. It was just something I had in my head for a while. When it was just me and Moms in the living room, I kind of just said it. Finally. There you go. She shifted from one foot to another, relaxing her stance. She also spoke a bit more gently. Learning about them and what happened Doesn't change how I feel about our. She smirked, fixing you with sharp eyes. I'd already figured out a long time ago that moms were in our biological. Technically, one of them could have been related to you. You listening to Elizabeth. It really doesn't. Does it? Really doesn't change anything. You're sisters, you know? It doesn't.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nothing about the family I was first born in would have made me decide that this family wasn't my family. If you had hoped you'd be free of my big sisterly status, don't think so. She bumped her shoulder against yours playfully, her lips tilted at the corners.
You'll always be my little sister.
Bump her back. You know, just the sibling. Alright. Shoulder nudges. You'll always be my family too. I think I'm lucky. Alright, we're going 2 you know. Yeah. You know, you are lucky. You got a decent enough, like, she's a ride or die sister. You know it. Like, she's the kind of sister where if you called her and said, hey, I need to get my stuff out of this shitty apartment I was renting with a shitty person, she'd be there, like, next day with lattes and, like, 3, you know, friggin', you know, dudes being like, all right, what we doing? Let's go. She's your ride or die. Chuckling, she seemed pleased with how the conversation had gone. Yeah. Ready to head back home? It's been a long day. You gave her a nod.
Come on.
Come on, you 3. Let's go. You walked home together in a comfortable silence down the well-worn street. Familiarity of it all felt nice. When you stepped through the door, you found your moms quietly sitting together at the. Their heads snapped up and they got to their feet to meet you, Ma giving you a careful smile. So glad to see you. I did not snap at them. So I don't feel like that one's. Everything good? Are we sorry for way? Saying nothing, or we're just being like, hi. Hi. You know what? I'm just gonna pretend today never happened. Hi. Since I rolled something and no answer. Fair enough. I'm sorry for walking. That's alright. We're just happy to have you here again. Ma then came over and wrapped her arms around you and Elizabeth, giving you a tight hug. It didn't take long for Mom to join, putting her arms around both.
Love you.
We really couldn't have asked for better kiddos. We love you. More than we could ever say. Arms. You smiled at their comfort, glad the moment was right. You're smooch. Nope. Total teenager moment. You're smooching me. You all chuckled, the rumble of laughter shaking you all as you continue to hold each other. I love you too. They both pulled back eventually and grinned at the two of you, and you knew that you all had each other, and you always would. Now that since we're all here, how about we do something together as a family? That sounds like an excellent. We should have some fun before the night's over.
Totally!
Love the sound of that. Okay. Cove looked a little bit bashful over being included as part of the family, but he tried not to pay too much attention. Why not? You hid the smile that threatened to tilt your lips, knowing that Elizabeth must have been in a good mood if she hadn't teased Cove part of it. And no matter what she could have said about it, he wanted him. He was someone who was really important. Who's got a suggestion? It should be something we can do here in the house with everyone in the same room. You suddenly remembered the show you and Lee had been working on earlier. You were bummed you never got to do it after all of that. Maybe show you weren't so keen on that now after what happened. I mean, we did practice. We did practice. And you were bummed, you know. Hey, Valaria, can we do our show? We practiced it earlier.
Oh?
A show. This is the first time we're hearing about this. I'm intrigued.
Wonderful.
It would be amazing if you put it on for us to watch. Oh yeah, I need to see what. Oh well, listen. The sisterly sarcasm showers in because now she's like, oh, Oh, you're gonna sing for me. You know, you're gonna put on a show for me. Oh, I'm here for it. Yes, let's give me more ammo for the eventual, you know, like bridesmaid speech or whatever that I will give when you're older, get married. You know, oh, thank you for this cannon fodder memory. That'd be cool. Says, oh. You smiled at Lee, who returned the gesture while bouncing on her heels at the sight. Take some seats and we'll get everything together. Your moms collected the chairs from around the dining table and set them in a row in the living room where there was enough space. So, like, right in the middle. While they did that, you and Lee quickly gathered the and rehashed the plan. You listened through the song you had chosen one last time, and you collected your instrument from your room, making sure it was ready to go. Yeah, go guitar! When the two of you returned to the living room, everyone was sitting and chatting amongst themselves while they waited. The group quieted down when you and Lee stood in front of them in your makeshift stage. Lee was buzzing quietly with excitement. Pumped, nervous, unsure. I mean, I'll go with pumped because it's like Lee's energy is so... Hello. There's a cat. The time you and Lee had put into practicing was working. You were ready to go. Okay, so welcome to our show. We only came up with it today, but we promise it'll be good. Options. We have you stayed quiet. Thank you for being here tonight. No refunds. You're gonna be really impressed. You know, let's go standard. Thank you for being here tonight. Nice, casual, easy. Thank you for being here. Your moms gave you a thumbs up and encouragement, ready for the performance. And you nodded at Lee that you were ready to begin. Lee took in a deep breath, waiting the few beats it took to get into the song and started singing. Your part of the song joined in just a few moments later, and you smiled at each other as you sang together. You strummed along on your guitar. When the performance was over, Lee took your hand in hers and the two of you bowed deep. Everyone gave you a round of applause and cheered for an encore. Straightened yourself up, you were happy to see that even Elizabeth was clapping. Bravo! Bravo!
Good job.
You're so talented. Your family rose from their seats and came over to congratulate you more directly. You were beaming. Bo was the first one to approach, stepping up to you and Lee with a smile on his face.
It's nice.
Nice job. Thank you. You're really great with the guitar voice. It was cool. Thanks, it was pretty good. Huh. Blush. Nothing. Luckily, we have a crowd that's easily impressed. Nah, you know, we'll bump ourselves up. But like, give us a little confidence, you know. I'm pretty good, huh? That was pretty good. And you're humble too. You laughed together, feeling as light as a feather. Your parents gushed about how great everything was and thanked you for sharing it. Elizabeth was complimentary in her own way, although she did describe the show as cute, which you knew she meant as kind. You laughed it off, however, and were just happy that it... In that moment, you couldn't have been more pleased to be part of the pack. 1 through 9. 1, 2... No! Bad clicky buttons! 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. We have 4 for lyrics. But 1 through 9. Yeah, we have 3 left on either of code, 4 left on... What shall we do? Oh, I'm gonna roll a d10 in case, you know, nobody does it. And go from there. Oh, 3, 2. So people, you. But like, it's a 1 through 9, you know, it's all gonna be, we're all gonna do it all eventually anyway. Alright. As soon as no one has answered. Rolled 5, we'll be doing summer work. You stared out the window, watching the scenery pass by as your mom drove down the quiet streets at a leisurely pace. The singer crooned sweetly, turned low enough that you could block it out if you... You turned away from the window when your mom... Well, kids, are you excited to be going to the library? Okay, so I was the book. I would have been the one to be like, heck yeah, I'm excited to go to the library. But I understand not everyone likes the library, so I at least give a 5 count in case it's not an enthusiastic heck yeah library. Yeah, I can't wait to get there. Mom laughed, catching her eye in the room. I don't know why I asked. I already know how you feel. Taking a trip down to the library had always been.
So,
What about you, Cove? You're a part of the conversation too.
Not really.
Not really. If I didn't have school stuff, I'd probably be somewhere else.
I see.
I get it. I wasn't so keen on the library in my day either. Really? Well, no, unless you count the under 6-year-old. My day. She grinned over at the two of you briefly. Mom refocused on driving, humming along with the radio under her breath. You went back to staring out. As you passed one street, you caught a glimpse of someone in a brightly colored clothing passing up the lane. It sparked a faraway memory. You felt your lips twitching up before consciously remembering why. How long ago was it that you and Cove watched the amazing Alexander performing that? No. This one I feel like we can, reminisce about without it being a huge issue because it's just a memory, not a, Hey, Cove, do you remember that one guy?
Maybe.
Yeah, I do. Alexander, the amazing Alexander. He gave us those dolphin balloons for free. At this reminder, Cove smiled.
Oh.
Oh, yeah. I wonder if he's ever there now. Maybe we should go more often. Maybe. That was the first time we ever went down that street together. This might. It was a good dolphin. Added. Yeah. Hey, Cove, what were you gonna name your balloon? You never told me. Oh, I don't know. I can't remember what Kidney was thinking. Probably something obvious. Flipper. You couldn't help the way your own smile curled up higher. You wanted to say something else, but couldn't think of what, so you just settled down. When silence filled the car again, window. Feel the sneeze coming. It was an absolute. You leaned your face to the sunshine and close your eyes. Hilaria? Huh? You lifted yourself up a bit more, seeing your mom twisting her torso to face you, confused, front seat of the car. Next to you was nothing. The rose door was already open. You had reached the destination before you even realized. I was asking, what time should I pick you up? Oh, 4 should be okay. That should give you enough time to finish your summer assignment. Please make a large enough dash. Thanks, Mom. You hopped out of the car, remembering to grab your backpack. Alright then, have fun, you two. We will. You closed the door, giving a little wave. You waved back. The two of you went right to the door. Cove reached it first and tugged it open. Inside. He kept it propped open behind him. The air was much cooler inside the building than it had been for the few seconds. Space was filled with the soft end of paper that moved. Hey, you seem kind of distracted. Just enjoying the day. Excited to see Derek, or do we want to walk around? Honestly, with the way that your character is reacting to the sunshine and to the car ride, I feel like that was just a I'm gonna enjoy lounging in a sunbeam like a cat sort of vibe, and I feel like that's just kind of enjoying. Just enjoying the day. Both looked dubious at the vague end. Hey. What? Don't you think it's nice out? I do. Her study buddy was standing at the front of the library by a long rack of books. Predictably, he was flipping through ones with various sports books, looking intense enough to burst off the page. His head snapped up when you walked over, beaming wildly. Hey, Valaria, Cove! Hi, were you waiting for a while? Not super long. Derek took the magazine back. He judged the space at his side. Most of the tables were empty, only a few people leaving the book. There's plenty of room. In unspoken agreement, the 3 of you started moving towards the seating area. Derek taking 2 steps for every one of them. Oh, Guess what? I'm pretty sure I've mastered the fake shot. I'll show you some other time. Eric looked over to gauge the level of interest. Do you know it? Soccer? Not really. All of the sporty stuff Cove liked with beach surfing, snorkeling, skateboarding, and he didn't play a lot of team games, but he did like doubles volleyball. How does it go? Derek's eyes flashed with excitement as he...
Okay.
Well, you move the ball like you're gonna go one way, then... He demonstrated by running a few steps ahead, showing off some fancy footwork. You do it like this, so it does like that! You laughed, bobbing your head as across with no ball. Shh. The three of you looked over at the checkout desk. The librarian stood behind you and was wearing a deep frown. Oh, no, I'm sorry. 100%. I'm gonna be the kid that, like, turns and goes, sorry, to the library. Like, sorry. You mouthed sorry, and she sighed before turning back to the book she was... Like, librarians don't want to discourage patrons from visiting, but, like, if you're loud and then you apologize and you're not loud again, most librarians will just let you off and be like... Derek scratched his cheek, choosing not to let them.
Oops.
So, what are you guys working on? Alright. What weren't we working on? That means we have started everything. There are some things you had gotten to start with. You had yet to start a single assignment, sadly. You had set to start a single assignment because you didn't feel like it. I'm preferring one of the upper two answers, but that's more because I was the kind of person, and I still have the mentality that if you just get the work done, then you don't have to think about it, you don't have to do it anymore, you don't have to worry about it, just get it done, get it over with, get it out of the way, and then you have the rest of your day, your week, your whatever, to just do whatever you feel. So, what weren't you working? You had started work on most of your assignments, not wanting to leave them last minute. You hadn't decided which to focus on this afternoon though, so you had brought all of them. Who knows? There was a chance you'd be able to finish all of them, or so you hope. Alright, are we working on a history assignment? Some math problems? I don't care, or I don't know. I personally pick one of the ones that actually makes sense. I feel like the history assignment makes sense because if you have to do something with history, having reference books and going to the library is exactly why you would go to the library. So, especially if you say don't have a computer or you don't have access to a computer, and I know so many people do these days, but also for the purpose of reference books, libraries are really... You vote too? You want to do math? Alright, do math. I don't... Math it is. I've got some math problems that need work. The atmosphere was good for studying and you felt motivated to tackle it. There's some summer reading too. I have to go through an assigned book, but I'm gonna do that later since it doesn't need extra reference. What about you two? I've got a few worksheets. They look pretty easy, but my school gave us 3 books to read. Can't they just stick with one? I'm doing a timeline for history. Yep, that's fair. You all found a table close to the tall bookshelves of camp. Within seconds, pencils and folders and books were strewn on the surface. Am I doodling? Focusing on my work, looking out the window, like... I feel like, yes, we're here to focus on our work, but, like, also... Distracted? Not distracted? I don't know, I'd focus. I'm a focused person. 2. I just doodle. Just doodle. Yeah, but you have good distractions in front of you. That's 2 good distractions. Fair enough. Yeah, doodle. You lightly sketch on the paper, your tongue poking out in between your lips and head. You were in the middle of attempting a shark with toothy jaws open wide when you felt someone looking. You glanced up, seeing Cove look over your scribble. Cove's eyes rose to meet yours.
Nice.
It's nice. Are you gonna do the rest and add the second dorsal fin? He pointed at the spot on the unfinished shark. Yeah, thanks. You push forward with your scribbly creation. After some time, Cove shifted in his seat, twisting his back as if trying to work knots. Feeling antsy? You paid enough attention to Cove to recognize when he was no longer feeling calm. Yeah, I'm gonna go wander around for.
Talk to you later.
See ya. I'm gonna stay here. I'm making good progress. I don't. I really need, like, as you really. I'm gonna stay. There's good reason. You didn't want to break your concentration and have to get back into it. Just. How's your assignment coming? Or you got on with your. Are we chatting with Derek while we're totally working and doing math problems? Chat with. Yes. How's your assignment coming along? Derek flashed you a grin. It's whizzing by, no problem. How about yours? It's closer to being done than it was this morning. It's going okay. It's going really great. At this rate, I'm never gonna finish it. I mean, we were doodling, but like, that doesn't mean we can't have solved like a math problem, then done a little doodling and solved a math problem. If no one has a thought for 1 through 4. Alright. I got 4, B4, so it's going really great. But weird to think that we'd be back at school soon, huh? Yeah, a new school year. Are you looking forward to it? Wouldn't say I was looking forward to it, but this year's gonna be the year. The year of what?
Right.
The year I'm on the team. He pumped his fist in the air and momentarily became too loud for a library. The team? Which one? Football or soccer? Why not both? You don't know which. Good luck. I feel like commenting is important. So like, are we wishing him luck? Are we concerned as to why he wants to be 2 teams? Or are we just like, you could do both? But no, not really. Isn't like soccer and football season like either? No, soccer is spring and football is fall. So you could do both, but it's probably not a good idea. Yeah, I'm gonna ask him, you know, why he doesn't know. Wait. Nope. Thing is, I haven't figured out how I'm gonna pick. I'd have more time to practicing it real good if I stuck with just one. Alright. So, do what makes you happy. 2 sports means double the number of teams you can try for. You simply listen, pick the one you do best in already. Or do we vote for soccer or football? Because we can flat out vote for soccer if we like soccer, or flat out vote for football if we feel like football, and it will actually change the trajectory of how he goes. So, I usually like soccer. I like soccer more than football, just in the general sense. Mostly because I don't sports really at all. Soccer. Interesting. I understand soccer. I don't really. I understand soccer. So, I will roll a d6 unless someone has a specific thought process on whether or not we should pick something specific. I like it. I'll just do something. I vote for soccer.
Why?
Yeah, why? You do really good at it. Playing soccer is hotter. Don't you have to be big to play football, or I don't know. I feel like 1 or 2. Do we want to tease the boy? Are we feeling like always tease the boy? Fair enough. Then our answer, flat out, soccer, hotter. In an instant, he smacked both his hands over his mouth and hung his head in it to smother what was likely going to be a loud laugh. For a time, face stayed low and you could see his back giggles. Eventually, he partially licked his fingers. His grin. Glaria, you can't do that to me! We're in a library! His good mood was contagious, and you smiled back at him. But hey, how about you? What's new? What's a new school year got in store for you? New skills, sports teams, lots of fun, naps, work. I started working when I was like 14, 15, so like I could pick work, but also, yeah, not bad. I got a 1. You know what? I can vibe with. I want to learn a new skill. You know, something new.
Really?
Really? I'll help you practice with it if you can. You continued swapping visions of the year ahead until Cove returned. With a start, you realized that a solid 15 minutes had slipped by. It only felt like a few. With fresh minds, you all turned back to your work. The sound of shuffling dragged you out of your head. You looked up, surprised to see You're done? Eric casually shrugged, but you could tell he felt proud to be the first finished. Uh-huh, told you it wasn't. Wish mine was. Was it even worth coming to the library? What are you gonna do now? You know what? I like the idea of the wish. E? Want me to look it over? Maybe I've got some tips that'll help. Yeah. Wait.
I got
I'm
you.
over here. Get closer. I got it. With a smile, Derek leaned over your part of the table. He took some time to get the gist and point you in the right direction before turning it back over to you. Derek leaned on the back. Okay, I'm gonna go look around while you guys finish. See ya. Bye.
Bye.
See ya. Later on, Cove shifted in his seat, closing his book as he... Glancing away, you contemplated what you had done too. Since we had not completely focused, we do not get the you completely finished all of the assignments, but we can note, we can say we buckled down after that and kind of finished most of everything. Like, you know, there. So I'm fine with having like had the conversation, have Cove come back, and then like buckle down and get lunch. You had finished most of it. Just as you thought, it hadn't been that difficult. You were sure you'd be able to complete the other work. Derek's advice had made it easier. Are you about ready? It's almost 4. Yeah, I think so. Come on. The both of you gathered up your books, and after returning the ones you'd used for reference, you set off to find wherever Derek had wandered off to. He was in the biography. He was back was to the two of you, one hand above his head and the other supporting himself against the shelf as he strained to grab one of the books. Hey Derek, we're ready.
Okay.
Okay. He glanced towards the sound of your voice, then up towards the shelf he was trying to reach. Oh. This is a move, and I am 1000% getting it. It is not something you speak, you just. I am the taller girl who is going to quietly, silently reach over him, reach above his head, grab the book, and hand it. Because that is a power. Even as an adult, it's a power. Here you go. You held the book out for him, just stared up, speechless. See? It's until he eventually accepted the book from your hand and squeaked out a small reply with flushed cheeks. Thanks. I love embarrassing. And then the three of you moved to the front of the library. You stood close to the window and let out a contented sigh, feeling the rains warm you from the slight chill of the library interior. Staring at your face, wish our time was more. Honestly, I feel like this is the nice one. You know, asking him if he's got any plans after this. You know, what's he up to? Gonna work on my technique. Can't get rusty while school's out. That answer was inevitable. Technique for what? Soccer. How about you two? The words you two echoed in your mind. You knew what Derek meant, but why was it bringing a smile to your face to be linked with Cove, even the most tenuous of circumstances? Nothing planned. Me neither. Oh, that's my dad's car. Derek lifted a hand to wave, pushing the door open and heading towards the blue pickup truck waiting in the park.
Talk to you later.
See you, Valeria. Bye, Cove. You watched Derek jog off before scanning the area for your mom. Did she get everything done, or lost in thought? Are we daydreamy today? Like, we got stuff done, but, you know, we could still be fairly daydreamy. We've been daydreaming for the most part. I feel like getting lost. I feel like I'll need to come back to the library again before the summer's over. I'll come with you. I still have those books to read anyway. Smiled at the idea. Despite not working on the same thing, it'd be nice to have some company. Good with that. Hey, you want to do something with me after this? Oh, sure. Cove seemed eager towards the offer. You hadn't exactly expected him to say no, but the agreement made you. The two of you smiled at each other. Both looked away after a second. Oh, you did. So you did too. Okay, that's it. Fidgeting with the hem of your shirt. Wasn't long before you spied your mom's car. There she is.
All right.
Time to go then. You climbed in the car, sliding the usual seat. Hey kiddos, did you get a lot done? Yeah.
Nice.
Car shifted into action. Watched as the library shrunk in distance. It wouldn't be the last time you saw it this summer. Even better, you were gonna have good company with you. You were already counted. You fielded questions with Mom while you tried to juggle a conversation with her. When she learned you two were planning on returning, she immediately offered to guide. You continued to answer Mom's questions about what you'd been working on, then told her about your plans to stick with Cove. There was something knowing in her smile that paused just. But soon enough, the trip was over, and you had arrived back to the neighborhood. I'd run over to his house real quick to drop off his stuff. You also made a backpack away before heading out again. The two of you regrouped in the middle of the road, halfway between. With everything wrapped up, you can now freely enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Your conversation resumed, and you began walking down the street. The afternoon came and went. Dinner was eaten, and you were cleaning up the dishes left behind for you. Cove had elected to stay for the meal today. He passed you a couple plates to think, even though he didn't ask something. You scrubbed and let out. Okay, they're done. I'm going upstairs now. You addressed your guests. Are you gonna come with me?
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have to go back till later. Take it easy, kids. Thank you for the help. When you got back to your room, you noticed your backpack from earlier. Figured it'd be best to unpack the stuff you need before going. Go flopped into your desk, spun around a bit as he got caught. He watched contently. He didn't need or expect pride and constant. It was just nice to be near each other, and when nothing. You hefted your bag up on the bed, sunken. That you started to sort through the books, paper pads. Not all of it were things you needed at any time. As a small pile of backpack gone over it all. You actually had finished flipping through the content. You instinctively pulled the opening closer to the third and second look through, and then a third, and then you begin to open a smaller pile. You were missing your math assignment. Gloria? By this point, Cove could tell something was wrong. That was part of your summer work that you had gotten done, and now it was gone. It hadn't been that noteworthy before, but the bag wasn't really zipped when you had first put through it. The work could have fallen out somewhere. Had it in the first place. Well, since we don't want to be anxious, we are not gonna panic. We are not having our stress level shoot, and we are not. So it's either positive thinking, shrugging, or just a little bit upset, but trying to stay calm. So 1, 3, or 5. If we want to be not an anxious mess. So, I mean, you honestly, all you can do sometimes is shrug. Like, I guess this is my life, you know? Positive thinking is useful to some degree, but could definitely be annoying. And then there's upset but calm. It's the you know, it'll be okay, we'll figure it out, you know, sort of calm, I feel like. So I feel like calm is smart, though, but as a teenager I was an anxious goddamn mess, so I can't answer this. So I'm just gonna shrug, because that's what adult me does. And as someone who has accidentally almost deleted 2 chapters of her dissertation and was able to restore it, trust, there was a point where all you can do is shrug. all you can do is shrug. It was pretty lousy to lose something, but it wasn't the end of the world. My math work isn't in my backpack. At your word, Cove jumped out of his seat.
No way!
Oh crap, is there somewhere we can look? The bag was kind of open, so... Yep, that looked the sympathetic wince of... Oh. He winced sympathetically. That left a lot of options for where it might be, most of them bad. You resolved to check the spot the backpack was originally left in. Couldn't hurt to look. With nothing in sight, you expanded the search to the rest of the space. Cove did his best to stay out of your way while keeping an eye open. Didn't work. It was a fruitless effort. The assignment wasn't here. Let's check downstairs. It might still be in your house someplace. Fine.
How are you?
Why, hello again. Is everything alright? You told your mom what was going on, you know? I unpacked my bag and one of my assignments went.
I'm so sorry.
Oh, sweetie, I'm so sorry. What's missing? An assignment for school from the library today. Mom's eyebrows raised with the answer. That's a pickle. I'll call them right now. I think they might still be open. I mean, that's fair. Thank you for, making a phone call for me, honestly. One, because I don't want to. Oh, but two, think it. And three, that is a fair, thought is that, like, maybe you dropped it and if the librarian can go around and, keep an eye out, can't hurt to try.
You're welcome.
You're welcome. Just leave it to me. Cove, honey, can you tell us if there was anything you noticed? You were with Valaria, right? I saw the assignment when Valaria had it at the library. I don't remember her putting it away, but I'm pretty positive. Nothing left on the table. None. He spoke resolutely. For now, he hadn't considered that something might have been left behind. You felt the same one, though it was hard not to second-guess things. Your mom re-entered the scene a few minutes later. The look on her face was not.
Well...
So I got a hold of one at the library. They don't have any papers with your name on it. Not see any. Trying, Do we thank her for trying? Do we just sigh and say okay? Do we have no reply, or do we groan in frustration? Because, I'm okay with thanking her. I'm gonna roll. I'll be nice. I'll roll just in case. In case it decides something. It gave me groan and frustration. Which, fair, but not. So, I'll try it.
Sweetie.
Oh, honey, we'll figure this. Mm-hmm. Valaria, hey, let's go over to my house. I can check my bag. Maybe I took it when we were packing up and didn't notice. Good idea. You got the impression this wasn't just about another. We're stressed over the situation here. He was trying to give you it. Let's go. Cove nodded and made his way to the door. Your mom stood by with creased eyebrows. Take care, kids. Good luck. Hi, Moms. You briskly made the trip across the street. In less than a minute, you were going through the threshold of Cove's house. Cove had been in a rush earlier today, too. His backpack was tossed on the couch without a thought. No one had moved it. You can sit down or anything. I'm gonna look. He lifted up the backpack and unzipped it in a fluid motion. You were left to wait as he rooted around inside with an unexpected level of seriousness. We're trying to, keep calm and relaxed, so, we're calming down, it'll be fine. There was definitely some panic earlier, but you had a little time to sort your thoughts. Whether you found it or not, you'd be able to make things work. Still, it wasn't possible to stop Cove on his quest, so you tried to relax in the meantime. Eventually, he sighed heavily. Cove's arms were still tucked away inside, but
Sorry.
it was obvious there wasn't much of a chance Cove somehow had it the whole time. He shrugged. That's all right. He dropped the backpack to the floor unceremoniously and spoke with a cautious tone.
Are you okay?
Is it really okay? I really am. I can get another copy. You write the stuff. It's nice of you to ask. That's cool. I'm glad. Cove laughed lightly. You noticed a small shake to him. He was clearly relieved you were gonna get it. It was sweet. He'd been more upset about the loss than you. I think it's admirable how you keep it together like that. Are we flattered? Grateful? Or just silently accepting all of it? Yes, lavish. Right. I don't know, I could be flattered. That's like... Nice. Be flattered. Cove was someone you were close with, that's true. But you hadn't expected to say you were admirable. It was nice. Then the moment was interrupted by the piercing ring of the golden phone. You wordlessly stared at one another with raised eyebrows. Cove mouth formed a Kira appeared from the hall on the far side of the living room, summoned by the noise.
Hey, yeah.
Hey, Cove. Hey, Valaria. I didn't know you were here. He strolled on past. Your eyes followed her. Cove's mom answered, a chipper greeting to whomever was. You, and Later, Kira thanked the person and placed the phone down once more. Valaria, that was your mom. She said your stuff is in the car.
What?
Really? That's what I was told. Now, I'll just return to the guest room. You two can have your privacy. Cove's face cycled from shocked to sour as his mom made her escape laughing. He shook the interruption on and focused. Got it. As you guessed, it wasn't a huge deal. They've got it. Cove smiled crookedly and shrugged one shoulder. We should probably head to your house. Your moms might want to talk to you. Yeah, parents really care about it. They had kept searching when nephew left, and because of it all, Cove nodded. Cove, it means a lot that you stuck with me. Thanks. He brightened up with sparkling eyes.
Don't worry about it.
Anytime. While stepping towards the door together, there was a thought in your head that you were going to be there for small things and when it came to the big things. One more down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1 through 8. I can officially roll a D8. Unless someone picks. Alrighty. Ooh. Well, if we go with the one, with the one it rolled, we're off to dance. Let's go dancing. Dance it up. Oh no, this is a very unique one. We get permission to ask someone on a date, like a real date. Since we're doing the Derek side of things, generally he's gonna be the one that we are asking to be on a date, like a real date, like not for practice date, like a date. You whiled away the morning, doing whatever struck your fancy. Now you were recharging with lunch. With nothing on the horizon, you were free to spend as much or as little time in your place as you wanted. It was while you were thinking on all the possibilities of the afternoon that your mom's.
Hi.
Hi, Valaria. You okay? Mouth full, you nodded in reply, like a sandwich. Yeah, we're good. To your surprise, they both sat with you at the table. Based on the time, you had wondered if they were joining you for a meal, but no, they're them had brought it.
All right.
Great. We wanted to have a little chat with you. Qualifier little did nothing to downplay the situation. Your chewing slowed as your eyes widened, looking from one parent to the other. Anything that required both of them to talk to you must be something. Irritated, perked up, or unsettled. Like, I feel like perking up is probably a logical stuff. Go with perked up. A vacation maybe? Or a pet? Oh. A revelation that they were actually undercover agents? You leaned in, eager to learn. There's a soiree at the Cypress tomorrow. Your mom and I are going. The Cypress was the country club your moms were part of, where Elizabeth played golf. It seemed like every other month they had some sort of event or another, all with fancy names like soiree. You nodded eagerly, anxious for Mom to get to the good stuff. Mom chuckled at your poorly concealed reaction. Leaning in, Ma took your hand and squeezed it. We've decided to make the night a bit special. Elizabeth's going to be allowed to stay home fully alone for the first time. Teen, you get to stay home alone. Good to know. I'll remember.
Sorry.
You'll still be coming to the party with us. It's Elizabeth's night to party with the family on, not yours. Sorry, you've got to wait a couple. Fair, but I will remember. Let her at 15. It's not fair. What's the soiree gonna be like? All right, I can go, or I mean, what's the soiree gonna be like? Is it gonna be like fancy or like, with the hors d'oeuvres? The usual. Well, mostly. We wanted to make it a special night for you, too, so we've got something a little extra planned. That was unexpected. Interesting. You listened. Your parents shared a look across the table, cleared your throat, reminding them that you were still waiting. They couldn't keep dropping such hints and then turn coy when the conversation was about to get good.
Well,
Since it's a pretty fancy party that's still chaperone, and attendees are allowed to bring a guest, we thought it might be a nice opportunity for you to invite someone yourself as a date. If you... Your eyes widened as the word sunk in. Your mom's continued, struggled to... Even though we'll be at the party too, you don't need to worry about us getting in your way. You eat, dance, enjoy the music as you sit, but no leaving the property. Ma nodded at Mom.
isn't that great?
Yeah, as long as you don't leave the party, and if you'd rather bring just a friend, that's a-okay too. Oh. Amazing. You must have lit up because your parents shared an amused look at you.
Don't worry about it.
The soiree isn't until tomorrow, so you've got time. Let us know your plans before we're headed out. And that's all. We'll leave you to your lunch. Your moms rose from their chairs in unison, disappearing to another part of the house. You barely noticed their departure. All you could think about was what just happened. The remnants of your lunch stared at you from... Are we losing our appetite, or just like from the sheer no, we have to stop? Or do we feel like we should get finished? Like we should at least finish our lunch? Like I feel like we should maybe finish eating. That could be. Let's finish eating. Conversation had taken your mind off the meal, but you opted to try to eat a little more. You looked at the plate for how long? Even though you'd relocated to your bedroom, your head was stuck on the conversation that had unfolded at the dining room table. You knew that having someone come as a friend would be. You wanted it to be a date. It was too soon to pick one way or another. You didn't want to bring in a date. The prospect of having your first date made it impossible to kill. You couldn't help but jiggle your foot as you laid on your bed, contemplating the possibility. The night being a date would mean actually asking someone out. The little you knew of that came from what you'd seen on TV and movies and what you'd heard about kids at school. Your moms hadn't entertained the idea of you dating until now. You went over possible words and phrases in your head, setting up scenarios and smooth segues before tearing them down and trying something. So we can ask Cove, but for everything to work, it's just easier to ask Derek. And honestly, I like the Derek scenes, so I'm going with fun. Once you realize that it had been his name repeating inside your head, his face brightening as you invited him to join you. Alright. Bury your face in your pillow, not wanting to continue. Crystallize the daydream in your head and just kind of fade off. Or laughing awkward to ourselves. The first one is the embarrassed, oh god, now I'm the awkward teenager. Even though this one says laugh awkwardly, when you bury your face into the pillow, you are doing the no, maybe if I just don't think about it, I won't feel the, crazy. No. Or we can crystallize all those daydreams and just kind of sit back and enjoy the asking Derek date. You know what? Let's close our eyes and crystallize those daydreams. You would let your train of thought continue a little. You clearly pictured pretty green eyes, the way he got a tiny frown when he was nervous, and tried your best to guess what he might do next. It was nice. You liked him, and you knew you were supposed to be friends, but you just liked him a lot. You wouldn't be able to stop thinking of him even if you wanted to, and you didn't. That's it. You decided to call Derek and invite him to the... You were relieved to find the phone sitting in its cradle in the living room. Picking up the address book your mom's kept close to the phone, you flipped through it until you found Derek's number under Laura. You tapped the number into the phone and waited for someone to pick up.
Hello.
Hello, Suarez residence. Good afternoon, Miss Suarez. Hey, Derek's mom. Hello, Miss. Well, that's anxiety. I'm sorry. That stutters 100%. So are we going more formal or just, hey, Derek's mom? You have no name, you are just Derek's mom. You know what, I'll be out 3. Yeah, I'll be polite. Good afternoon, Mrs. Swan. This is Valari Green. Can I talk to Derek?
I'm sorry.
Oh, I'm sorry. He's out with his brothers right now. I can get him to call you back. Yep. Yeah, thank you. It'd be really great if you could do it today. I'll see what I can do. You traded goodbyes, hung up, and found a place to relax in the living room. That was as far as you got in the decision-making? You'd let yourself sink down into the cushions of the couch and remain stuck because of the plush cushion. Your plan A was on hold. More than that, it was hung up on. But you'd committed to waiting to hear from Derek, so waiting is what you do. The remote had been carelessly left on a green stool, almost certainly by your big sister. You lurched over the armrest to reach for the TV device. You stretched out your finger and succeeded in pressing the on button. When flopping back down into your seat, you caught a glimpse of the screen. The show playing was How It's Made, a mini documentary type of show. The subject of that episode was prepackaged records. You didn't have the motivation to actually pick up the remote to change the channel. You just simply let it play. After discovering how ice is added to the flour when mixing with wet and dry ingredients, a jingly ring echoed across the room. Someone was calling. Alright. Are we excited? Panic mess of nerves? Just chill, like... I feel like excitement could be a good way to go about it, you know? Because... I feel like excitement will work, you know? Rather than, like, be a panicked mess of nerves that, you know... Like, we're trying not to be anxious. Be excited. Who is it? The initial answer you got was a series of lighthearted chuckles. It's Derek. Hey, Valaria. I'm really sorry I missed your call before. I was watching the little bros at the park. Mom came to find me. She did. Yeah, so I could call you back. Oh, Mrs. Suarez did you a big favor. She tells him. But, thanks for calling. Was there something you wanted to talk about? I'm going to the summer soiree at the Cypress tomorrow. My moms are going too.
Cool.
Cool. You gotta tell me what happens when you get back. You'd officially gotten to talk to him about it. Time had come to do. Alright. Here it is, boys and girls. Do we ask bluntly? Derek, I want you to be my date for the party. Do we want to do the stuttering 13-year-old? Do you want to go on a date with me? Do we want to do the, you know, my parents said it would be alright if I brought a date, and I thought maybe, or do we want to lie and make this practice? I feel like no on the practice, but like, I'm thinking one or two. Be the date, or the, you know, really kind of slightly anxious because it's the first time you're doing it. Do you want to go? 2? Yeah. Do you want to go on a date with me? The words tumbled from your mouth. It was a miracle that they were all in the right order. The pitch of his voice shot up so strikingly it crackled through the phone. Really? Sorry, that is one of the highest pitch voices I can do. The possibility took a second for Derek to process, and then another second. And another. Derek? Finally, he gave a rushed reply. Oh, no, yeah, I want to go. You're supposed to take a date to parties like that, right? It makes sense. Oop. Hello and welcome, VR Carolyn. I don't mind. We are currently securing the 13-year-old to 13-year-old, you know, like date sort of vibe. Where it's we're completely awkward because we're teenagers, but also I kind of think. Alright, so we have yay. Alright. Exhaling deeply like you had been holding in a breath, being like, please say yes. Thank you. Or you're welcome. You know, because this is like the, you know, you take a date, you know, it makes sense. Like, I don't know if thank you or you're welcome is actually like weirdly almost appropriate in this. But the yay could be. So, like, you were previously excited. So let's just go with excited. Yay! Prior stalling aside, your invitation to Derek positively. He giggled and babbled away from the receiver. but it wasn't really quiet and nearly quiet enough for the phone not to pick up. Leave it. It's the best. Then it's a date, Derek.
It's a date.
You smiled widely. It was going to be a special. A muffled feedback masked Derek's voice as he was moving around. Could have easily pictured him bounding about his apartment, phone still in hand. Oh yeah. The excited, like, 13-year-old being like, a girl asked me out, a girl asked me out, and she is kind of cute. Like, as someone who's been 13, if someone did that to me, I would be equal parts terrified and excited. Alright.
Oh man.
Oh man, what do you think they're gonna have at the soiree? Dancing, music, sparkling drinks, maybe? Probably. The Cypress usually has pretty fancy parties. So, the anticipation between both of you continued to rise, just imagining tomorrow night. The party you were already starting was interrupted when Mom ambled back to the living room. She almost gave a shout to greet you, watch herself when she noticed your phone. Mimicking your position, Mom stuck out her thumb and pinky finger and pressed the hand against her ear. At the same time, her lips stretched forward to slowly mouth the word, "Ooh." I gotta go, my mom's here whispering into the phone. Can you hang on for a sec? I gotta answer my mom. Okay, bye, I have to hang up. And you're like, that is nervous. You stared at your mom with the phone in your hand and your mouth open. That and that are the nervous reactions. These are the more like, I want to say vocal reactions. This is kind of the like overly polite one, I feel like. So let's be overly polite. It'll be fun. Can you hang on for a second? Gotta answer my mom. You've spoken.
No worries.
No worries. Say I said hello. Leaving things with him there, you lowered the phone to the counter. Oh, what's happening? I'm talking to Derek. He says hello. Derek Suarez. Her eyebrows arched. But she grin. And did he happen to call you out of the blue, or was it you who gave him maybe to ask a certain question? Yeah, he's the lucky guy I asked to the soiree.
Well,
What kind of outing will it be? Her voice was hesitant. It's you know what it is. This is the Mom, please don't make me say it. Please don't make me say it. I've already asked him. He's already said yes. I don't want the embarrassment. This is the... Same with this one, you know? This is nervous. These are a little more confident. This is a combination of probably like nervousness and, oh God, do I tell my mom that I've asked a boy out? I mean, they will not be surprised. No, they're. I feel like it's more like a little bit of mild surprise because they're probably expecting Cope, not Derek. You know. So I'm just, you know what? We're just gonna be like, you know what? Mom nodded in understanding. He wore a wispy smile. Would you mind putting him on speaker for a second? I need to ask him something about tomorrow. The request caught you off guard and you fumbled the receiver for a second, but you got it under control and hit the speaker button. Derek, you can talk to my mom. I put you on speaker. Hello, Mrs. Green. Hey there, I have a quick question. What are you intending going out with Valeria for very first date? God damn it, Mom. Why? Why do moms, Mom? Raffle, right? Literally, Mom, you're gonna make him uncomfortable. Stop embarrassing me. You don't have to worry about that, Mom. To be super good to me. That's what. Isn't that right, Derek? Or yeah, Derek. Like, two. Yeah, just the stop. Sit. You covered your eyes with your hands, wishing it had been Ma down when you come home. Then again, Ma would have been just as embarrassing, but in a different way. She might have even... But Derek didn't buckle whatsoever for pressing your mom's put on.
I've got a plan.
I have the extra best of intentions. Valeria's gonna have such a fun time, she won't even know what hit her. Okay, good. That's enough for me. The big day isn't even here yet. You wondered if that meant she intended to give a repeat of this performance tomorrow. You were afraid to. And then it'd be both of them. It'd be mom and mom. Oh my. All right then. Bye then. Bye.
See you later.
Take care and see you soon. There were some happy giggles that snuck through before all sound on the other side cut off, marking the end of the conversation. Well, you wouldn't mind if I borrowed the phone now. I'll give Derek's parents a call back and get everything squared away. You know, let his mom know that he's agreed to go on a date. Oh god. You know what? That is a conversation I'm 1000% glad I don't have to do. Well, no, like she's mom to mom being like, hey, so my daughter just asked your son out on a date to a dance tomorrow. It's cool if he comes. So let's organize this because apparently our children think think they like each other. Moms. You held the receiver out and mom strolled over to pluck it out of your hand. Thank you very much, kiddo. You're part of the prep work. The rest of the afternoon passed by just like that. Back in your room, your mind was alight with visions of tomorrow night. Soiree was something, not necessarily as exciting as going on your first date. You were thrilled that Derek had actually said yes, and that he was genuine date to a party. You hugged your knees to your chest, overawed by the thought the night couldn't have come. Evening of the soiree had arrived, with the daylight hours having slipped away in a blur. Up in your bedroom, you were getting ready for the big event. That was your intention at least. You hadn't settled on an outfit. Stationed in front of your wardrobe, you scanned over the clothing you had at your disposal. Though Ma had mentioned this event was a bit dressier than normal, yet together you didn't necessarily have to lie. No. We're gonna look at formal because we want to dress to impress, and we don't want to stand out and stick out like a sore thumb. You know, we want to actually look like decent at the party. So you attempted to decide between the nicer pieces in your wardrobe, the ones that barely had a chance to come out. You decided to dress formally because yeah, you were dressing to impress. You know, I want to impress Derek. You want to. Fashion was a competitive sport, just like the golf tournament club host. You might not walk out with a trophy at the end. You still had every. To start, you decided to wear. All right, so this is, if we choose dress, it's just the dress. The blouse or the button-down shirt get the option of pants or skirt. Personally, I tend to go for the dress, but that's just because a formal summer soiree with a nice light summer dress and some nice sandals seems like an appropriate outfit that a young girl would wear in which to impress someone else, you know? But the button-down shirt or the blouse could also work. So, I feel like the dress. I'm gonna wear a pretty dress. The one you were picked was light and had sheen. Silky material seemed to glide through your fingers as you took it from the wardrobe. It was a perfect summer evening. You began to get dressed, your fingers working stiff zips and awkward fastenings. It felt different against your skin, reminding you with every movement you were dressed up. Whatever happened tonight, you were pleased that you had gotten the opportunity to wear it. Now, dressed, you gave yourself a final glance over before heading downstairs. You found your moms already waiting in the living room. They were putting the finishing touches on your outfit. Ma strapping her heel into a stiletto shoe, and Mom trying to fasten a bracelet single-handedly. They looked up as you entered.
Oh,
Valoria, you look so nice. Don't you think so, Pam?
thanks.
Thanks for dressing up. I hope the party will be prepared for you. You look sharp. Mom was still struggling with the bracelet. You lent a hand, literally, by taking one side and holding it as she secured the clasp. Thanks, kiddo. Elizabeth flittered down the stairs, her eyes narrowed.
What?
You're still here? Yes, but not for much longer. Wait, I know you're excited, but we haven't even said goodbye, and I want to go over with how things are gonna play out. Elizabeth sighed, and Mom began listing the rules, ticking them off her fingers. Also, can we talk about how nice these cute, dresses are? Your parents got style. This is a cute dress with a nice on it. And this power jacket with the belt and the lace. Not ordering takeout from or other deliveries. You can't have anyone else come over. She nodded, resigned to her fate, listening to a set of rules she could predict without so much as a glance. If anything happens, you can call us or go across the street to the Holdens. Keep the noise down. This house might be empty, but there are people all around in the neighborhood. Usual house rules still apply. Don't do anything you wouldn't do if we weren't here.
All right.
And we'll be back no later than 11:30. We'll call if there are any issues, so don't tie up the phone line all night. Right, all done. Can you go now? Ma strode over and swept Elizabeth up in a hug. Your sister let out a small noise, her eyes widening. Suddenly looked much less than a smug teenager. Yeah. Such a big girl now. I still can't believe it. Elizabeth rolled her eyes. This wasn't the quick departure he had been hoping. Any chance of it ending soon vanished as Mom joined in the hug. Neither can I. It feels like it was only yesterday that Elizabeth groaned, trying to cut the reminiscing off without success. Oh, you laughed and stayed well clear of the love pile. You felt sorry for your sister. You were glad you weren't the one getting in that treatment, or you joined in the hugs. Oh no. No. That is all her. All her. I'm 100% going with like one. I'm sorry. I am laughing and just being like, enjoy it. Elizabeth scowled at you over Ma's shoulder.
Jeez!
Can you all just go? Jeez! Your family is disentangled from the hug in time to get the doorbell. Oh, the guest of honor is here. She raced over to the door. As Ma predicted, Derek had arrived right on time and ushered inside.
Oh, nice.
You look very nice.
Same.
Bow tie. Thanks, Mrs. Green. So do you. Derek pulled ends of his little polka dot bow tie in satisfaction. His gaze, though not so subtly, sought you out. And that's going to you too, Valaria. Classy. On the final words, his voice faded away softly like the... His words took you by surprise. Derek usually avoided compliments. You were happy to it. You attempted to control the grin spreading across your face. Small statement. You inspected his outfit. Turn. Alright. We have you look wonderful. We're not gonna be totally mean. I'm sorry. You know. We have praise for the bow tie. Delightful cheesing for the bow tie. The you're looking good too. You know. So I'm feeling like 1, 3, or maybe 5. Or 1, 2, or 5 would probably be like the best one. Because this is like, you're looking good. That's a return of the compliment. This steps it up a notch. You know, that is taking his compliment and adding to it. You know, this is praising him on his good fashion sense. This just is like a little, like, I feel like this is just, you know. Do we take it up a notch? You know what? Yeah, we're taking it up a notch. We're calling him. You look wonderful. His crisp formal clothes barely contained the elation Derek was vibrant.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks. Oh, before I forget, it's for you. You'd been prepared for Derek's arrival in more ways than one and grabbed the few wrinkled bills off the counter. $3, huh? You're a gal of your word, Valaria. Thanks. You're welcome. And with that, you're dead. Now that Mom had finished reiterating the rules to Elizabeth, who then scurried off to the sanctuary of her own home, she came over to Derek. Hi, Derek. Nice to have you along for the ride. Thank you for taking me.
You're welcome.
It's no trouble. You're always welcome. Mom's eyebrows rose in twin lines of concern. Let's all remember that this is only a very, very first. There's no pressure on either. Right?
Yeah.
No pressure. Yeah. His absolute enthusiasm began to dim at that statement. Luckily, Ma came over and cheered him on. Mom's the cautious sort, sweetie. You don't need to look so worried. Mom smiled reassuringly. She didn't intend to scare him. Ma laid a hand on her shoulder. We should get to the car. There's nothing fashionable about being late. Oh, and before I forget, thank you so much for getting here on the dot, Derek. That's appreciated.
You're welcome.
You're welcome, Mrs. Green. Alright, and that is where we're gonna leave it. So next time, next Friday, we are going to go to the soiree with Derek. And we'll actually get to meet a surprise character. But that will be for next Friday. Until then, you can join me next Tuesday with the Norse Gods Generation Challenge, Generation 3, while we work on honestly, I think I'm gonna quickly furnish those 2 kids' rooms and I'll surprise you guys with them next week. So that'll be fun. The rest of the house is done. And, we'll get to work then. Hopefully, no one dies. But until then, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your week, your weekend, and I will see you Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at Cafe Conflora. Thank you as always for joining us today. Have a happy weekend. Please remember to like, follow, share, and subscribe where you can on Twitch and YouTube. And as always, again, wonderful for you to be here. Bye.